really feel it's my time, think it's my big dog, walking big talk, young veteran, living legend, bet I'm better than them. This is my ship, I'ma jack it like let them in, y'all better not let them in. They gon' rotate this, so I keep the pedaling, started a chain. The cycle is heaven sent, this is from God, but I'm not your reverend, not in the pulpit. I'm a pit bull in this element, yeah. Said you gon' pull up, then settle it, yeah. I've been married to this hustle, this is my ring, watch out step in it, yeah. And I ain't even got a yard, but I'ma get it here. Watch out touchdown, pulling plans out the clutch. Everybody getting crushed, the cut down is for us now. Have to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket, yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits, yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no ends, yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen, putting hours in my practice, I did all that, yeah. I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah. I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs, yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, yeah, run it, ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my, yeah. Run it, I can't take no loss, I don't even know what it costs, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah. Hit the ground, then it go off, yeah. I can't take no loss, I don't even know what it costs, yeah. I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah. Hit the ground, then it go off, yeah. Run it, ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my been ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem been patted. Gotta keep on chugging, ran through everything in front of me. Might smoke bed heavy, got a whole agenda. Can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that, it's no surrender. Got a dollar flipped up, I'm trying to get it an FT to get them when they're in hand and crypto. Learn how to fix that. I don't really hold out of books, but I'ma learn how to fix that. Some opportunities are never come unless you paying attention, so no, I can't miss that. Moving, MVP, I got the record, I might have to pro something. Big jumper worthy, they gon' have to retire my jersey early. Whole crew coming, had to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket, yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits, yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no ends, yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen, putting hours in my practice, I did all that, yeah. I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah. Hit the ground, then it go off, yeah. I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs, yeah. I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah. Hit the ground, then it go off, yeah. Run it, ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my big dog, walking big talk, young veteran, living legend, bet I'm better than them. This is my ship, I'ma jack it like let them in, y'all better not let them in. They gon' rotate this, so I keep the pedaling, started a chain. The cycle is heaven sent, this is from God, but I'm not your reverend, not in the pulpit. I'm a pit bull in this element, yeah. Said you gon' pull up, then settle it, yeah. I've been married to this hustle, this is my ring, watch out step in it, yeah. And I ain't even got a yard, but I'ma get it here. Watch out touchdown, pulling plans out the clutch. Everybody getting crushed, the cut down is for us now. Have to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket, yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits, yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no ends, yeah, I did all that. Had to make it.
Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. He is Jason, the chosen one. I am Greg, a legend in my own mind. Jay, what's going on with you, bro?
Not much, man. A little action last night. Some
little action.
Going on.
Definitely gonna jump into that, man.
A little something, you know.
There you go.
I'm anticipating these upcoming fights, man.
Yeah, man. Let's do what we do. So we always got to give the folks that support the channel some love. Rock Dog Interactive and Black Father Figures. Black Father Figures is just, I mean, you know, that's the League of Legacy, man. I love the work that he's doing and everything that he's trying to establish. So shout out to him. And of course, Rock Dog Interactive. They do everything that you want to see, man, relative to technology, whether it's, you know, graphic design, websites. They can even get you into Bitcoin, setting up those types of things. Those guys do everything, and I'm proud to be associated with them. All right, Jay. So you know how we start off. I got to give some love to the chat. Mr. Blue, Thrill, Brian S., who is a member of the channel. Shout out to Brian S. Finn's fan 87. I'm assuming that he's from Miami. Robert Montgomery, Indiana God. GH Peach is in the house. Marquis, salute, man. Salute. Running right. And there we go. The League of Legacy popped in right on time. So, bro, let's go ahead and jump into it because, we don't like to do too much waiting around. Teofimo Lopez. Jay.
That one.
Your prediction was 100% absolutely wrong. Completely wrong.
Same as yours, sir.
No, that wasn't my prediction. I never gave an official prediction. That wasn't my prediction. I never gave an official prediction. I never gave an official prediction. So that was your.
You gonna come up like this, man? You gonna tell everyone like that now? You gonna gaslight?
Did I give a official prediction? Yes or no?
Okay, you're lean.
I was leaning towards Josh Taylor. Absolutely. I was leaning towards Josh Taylor, but you went so far as to say that he was going to get stretched, he was going to get destroyed, and I must point out to the people that are watching this show that you were no.
You didn't agree. You said I feel like he's about to get.
Oh, I thought he might let Chicken Talk come in here. I thought that he could possibly lose terribly because of the level of delusion. I associated and tied in the level of delusion with the way that he might perform. You just thought that he was going to get stretched. That was just it. So he didn't come in.
Why you? Oh Lord!
What?
God. Today's the Lord's day, man. Don't do that.
So anyway, Jason is now concerned about his favorite fighter, Regis Prograis, because I think he has a real. What?
You start the day off like that, man.
How am I starting the day off, bro? How am I starting the day off? Okay, so Teofimo Lopez. What lies, bro? You said you said that he was gonna get destroyed. I mean, your statement was very strong. So Teofimo Lopez came in there and did what a lot of us didn't think he was going to do. We dropped the poll earlier today, and I believe at the time that I last saw it, 70% of the people said that they were surprised by his performance in that fight. I certainly was surprised considering how he performed against Sandor Martin. And as a matter of fact, against Kambosos as well. So Teo came out there. I mean, he looked sharp. He looked crisp. I mean, he looked confident. Maybe his dad was right. Maybe they had him pumping the jab too much. He needed to be the slick counter puncher that they said he always was. Jay, was this really Teofimo? Was it just a bad Josh Taylor because he looked bad in his last fight? Or was it a combination of the two? I'm leaning towards a combination of the two. But I'm not 100% spot on sure with that, Jay. What's your thoughts on that?
I say it was a combination of the two. I mean, I'll be the first. I'm eating crow on this because I had Teo losing big time. Just because, wasn't the fact that I didn't think he ever had the ability. It's just his body of work, his last two fights, and from a mental standpoint, he didn't look there. If you're not there mentally, it's more than likely you're going to lose. And he's like he channeled all the stuff he's going through outside the ring and put in the ring and whip Josh Taylor. He put that all to works. Josh Taylor has the height advantage, had the reach advantage, had every physical advantage on him. But Teo was a smarter fighter last night. Josh fighter, the whole hands down.
Josh looked like trash, bro. He looked god awful. And we weren't the only ones. I mean, not we. You weren't the only one that felt that it was a possibility that.
Wait. Don't stop that. Nah, man.
Listen.
About,
so
you agreed.
I said that I thought he could lose.
From it. Okay.
Anyway, so you're not the only one that felt that it was a possibility he could get dog walked because Regis Prograis felt the same way. Said he felt like he could possibly get more than likely he was going to get dominated. I think Timothy Bradley said something similar that he was. I think did Timothy Bradley say something like he was food for 140 pounds or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, this is what Tim said. Tim said he was food at 140 at the current state, but he said he also said that a focused Teo would basically almost beat everyone at 140. So Teo was damn sure focused last night. This Teo here is definitely someone in the game. He's someone that you got to think about. Although he said he's retired now, all of a sudden already, but that fight last night, I give Teo all the props in the world. I was wrong on thinking
as usual.
That shut up.
Dude, you are wrong a lot, man. You are wrong a lot, bruh.
Oh Lord.
Go ahead, man.
See, unlike you, I can admit when I'm wrong.
Hey, I come on here and say I'm wrong all the time.
Yeah, the minute you start talking. Marlo
Fair.
TV,
That's fair. That's fair.
What's happening, Marlo?
The real Marlo TV. What's going on with you, bro? That's fair. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. But nah, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, most people were wrong on that fight last night because Teo just everything. I mean, if you just look at everything up until that fight last night, there was nothing really that you could really hang your hat on that Teo really had a chance to dominate like he did last night, except for the fact that Josh Taylor got rid of his entire team. He was working a whole new team training regimen for this fight here. That's the only thing. And of course, he was off for like over a year, but hats off, salute to Teo, man. Salute to Teo. Now we got to hear his daddy mouth, though. That's going to be the problem right now.
So there's a couple of things that I want to go into. Number one, the fact that Max Kellerman had the audacity to say that he is, guys, technically he's undisputed. And then his dad saying, and this was in another conversation that he was having in regards to Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, but saying that he wanted Errol Spence to win because he wanted his son to be the first 2-time undisputed champion. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, why do they keep, like, even on the telecast yesterday, bro, they mentioned that he was former undisputed. Why do they continue with this narrative, these fake narratives relative to Teofimo Lopez, Lomachenko? They did the same thing. It's like saying he was like undefeated or something like that, or whatever it was they were saying about him. It's like they're always creating these fake narratives with these fighters, man, to promote them. And it's like, you won't be 2 times undisputed because you haven't even been 1 time undisputed yet. So let's stop, man. Let's stop that, bro. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, Jay? I mean, are you not annoyed? It makes you not want to root for it. Like, there's 2 things about Teofimo Lopez that really make you not want to root for him. It's the fact that they make up these false narratives. And then the second thing is talking about he's had almost 2 careers and at the age of 25, he's a Hall of Famer, the best. No, you're not. I mean, bro, nobody even have you in their top 50. What are you talking about? So that's the level of delusion when Leonard Ellaby say he's the most delusional MFer. I'm dialing back on my cussing, guys. You guys noticed that. He's the most delusional MFer in boxing, but don't get it wrong. I'm still gonna cuss. But those are the things, man, that I find to be an issue with Teofimo Lopez, and I think that's why the vast majority of the people root against him, because he talks crazy. So, Jay, I'm gonna pass it to you, bro. What's your thoughts on that?
Man, the only thing I give Max credit for, he didn't ask for Al to come on the show again last night. That's the only thing he didn't say last night. But I mean, that crap he said about Teo being undisputed. He's undisputed twice, essentially because no one beat Josh. Yeah, no one beat Josh, but Josh gave up the belts. Josh should have been having a rematch with Catterall. That's what should have been happening. Who knows? Maybe Josh decided not to do a rematch with Catterall because he thought Teo was food for him compared to Catterall because he already been in the ring with Catterall. He saw how Teo looked against Sandor Martin, and he's like, "Oh, I can get this one. He has a little name, got a little steam behind him. I can get an easy win here, and then I'm back in good graces." That was a bad idea for him. Teo said no to all that, but Max I'm happy. Stephen A. gave him a boot. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how much longer Max on boxing is going to, or this just in is going to last. I think one of those 2 shows is getting removed because he's just all over the place right now, man. The stuff he's saying, talking about Teo like this is just ridiculous. So any ESPN fighter, in a sense, to that degree at times, it's tiring, man. Tiring.
Yeah. So one thing I want to address before we move on from this particular topic, and we do got to give Teo his flowers, but I mean. Now we're in a situation where it's a possibility that he could face your man crush in Regis Prograis. Now, before that, you had Regis absolutely what?
Stop it, man. Stop it. I ain't got no man crush. Just because you like Loma got beat by Devin Haney. Don't be mad at me now.
Everybody on the channel know you got a man crush on Regis Prograis. This is where you make yourself look bad. Don't make yourself look bad. Don't make yourself look bad. Just sir. Everybody on the channel know you got a man crush on this dude. Just stop. So, now that he's. I mean, it looks like this is a competitive fight. Before, you felt like he would absolutely destroy Teofimo Lopez. Do you feel that way now? Because, I mean, I don't know, man. I might have to go with Teo now, bruh. What's your thoughts on that? I mean,
don't act like you thought Regis was going to lose a Teo before this fight neither. So don't
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I did not say that. I did not say that. All I'm doing is, hey, listen.
Y'all see
the
how
reason
y'all see how this dude is. He trying to make me go out of character.
The reason why I'm asking you, because you are on the record basically stating that Regis Prograis is the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world. You never said that word. Hold on. You never said that word for word. But the way you talk about him, he might as well be. So that's the reason why I'm asking you specifically. We're not talking about me. We're talking about you. Now go ahead.
And I'm talking about you. Stop the cap. Stop the.
I did not. I just literally said that you didn't say that word for word.
The best ever, the top. I never even had Regis a pound for pound. What are you talking about, dude?
Anybody that follows this channel knows. Everybody that follows this channel knows how you talk about Regis Prograis. Come on, man.
I never had Regis in the top 10.
Man, own the crush. Now go ahead and give your take.
Stop it. Ain't no owning nothing.
Go ahead and give your take, man. Everybody already know. Go get your take.
Anyway, with all the BS you trying to put out there. Anyway, now I had Regis beating Teo easily beforehand, easily. Now after seeing that Teo, if that Teo shows up, this is going to be a hell of a fight. It's going to be a hell of a fight with him and Regis. I want to see how Regis looks this weekend. Although it's not a step up in competition per se, I want to see how Regis looks to see if he's changed anything. And styles do make fights, so we'll have to see. But it's not going to be it's not going to be a cakewalk for Regis like I once thought, especially if this Teo shows up.
Okay.
Hey, Mark M, you like that too, Mark M? See, he ain't even like that.
Yeah, get him. Get everybody in the chat know that's your man crush, bruh. That's what I'm saying. When people already in the chat know it, you lose credibility, man. And this show right here, we are credible individuals, man. You gotta stand on your square, my brother. Stand on your square. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one.
I stood on my square about Teo losing. I said he was gonna lose. I was wrong. You were the one that said.
You ready to go to the next subject? You ready to go to the next subject?
If my pick loses. Chump.
Oh no! Because that's me keeping it real. I won't be here if Spence lose. I won't be here. You'll be hosting by yourself. I won't be here. That's me keeping it real, bruh. I'm letting everybody know. All right, man.
No, I can deal with the smoke. No matter what.
Anyway. All right, bro.
What's next?
What's the next thing you wanna tackle, man? We got a number of different topics that we want to go over in this show before we get to the live call. So where do you want to go from here, Jay? I think you got the what do they call it when you're on TV? They call it a run sheet, right? Jason and we put together a run sheet before we do our show. So Jay, what is next on the run sheet? Where do you want to go?
Well, I mean, there's another fight last night also that I want to talk about. I don't know if you watch it or you want to see the highlights.
I didn't. I saw a few highlights. I didn't get to see it. Yep.
Jaime Munguia and Sergey Dimarchenko. That fight there was a close fight. I had it as either a draw or a 1-point victory for Sergey. Munguia looked like crap, in my opinion. They brought up Sergey up from 160 to 165. To 168. He's always been a smaller guy anyway, even at 160. And he had Munguia hurt in round 5. You could have arguably given that round 5 a 10-8 round without Munguia getting dropped the way Sergey was whipping up on him. Now, Munguia did hold true. He knocked him down in the 12th round. But he didn't put him out. I thought he was going to put him out at that point because he dropped him with a body shot. Didn't get rid of him, and they gave him the win. It was like 115, 112, and 114, 113 twice.
Yeah, I got you, Jay. Let me just acknowledge Tunnel Vision very quickly. $5. Tunnel Vision, greatly appreciated. And I want to read your message. Regis ducked all competition by signing to DAZN and Eddie. That fight is not happening versus Lopez or any top level competition. We won't see. We won't see. Yep. All right, Jay. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry I cut you. I just want to make sure I got Tunnel's message in there.
Yeah, no, I agree with Corey Williams. Sergey always getting title shots. He gets a lot of title shots. That's because he's a durable fighter. Not saying he's deserving all the title fights. I know he's been there with Triple G. He's been there with Maul, and he arguably possibly beat Triple G or had a draw with Triple G as well. But this fight against Munguia should stay far, far away from David Morrell. Even Charlo being out the ring for 2 years, Boo Boo, Benavidez. He should definitely stay away from Benavidez. Benavidez would put him out
Yeah.
because what he did, what Sergey did to him in round 5 and most of the fight, he was bullying Munguia a lot of the fight. And he's definitely a smaller man. Munguia is not ready. He's 42 fights in, 42-0. I think 31 knockouts. How are you 42-0 haven't had a challenging fight yet, or fought anyone worth anything in your competition until now? He's definitely. I see why Oscar is hiding from him, but yeah, that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
Yeah, I'm gonna reserve my comments because simply put, I did not get a chance to see the entire fight. And I really didn't even get to see the entire T.O. fight. I think I started watching T.O. in round 3. I had some stuff going on here at the house. I think I started watching like around 3. From what I could see based off of that, they were kind of even. But the Munguia fight, I didn't even pay much attention to. But just based off of the history of it, Munguia is not ready for anybody at that weight class, period. Anything else you want to cover in regards to Jaime Munguia, or can we move on? Because I don't think he's a.
We can move on. I mean, I just want to agree with Tonovan. Yeah, he better stay away from Caleb Plant as well. He's
all of them.
He's not ready.
He can't beat any of them. All right, bro. Where you want to go next, man? It's up to you.
So let's go ahead and finish this off with the fights over this past weekend. Yo, boy, AB victorious over the lawyer on Friday night. Bill Hutchinson.
Why is everybody my boy, man? Like, so let's pause here. Let's talk about who my boy is. So everybody knows I like Virgil Ortiz. That's my guy. We know that I like Errol Spence. That's my guy. I do not like Lomachenko. I don't know why you keep trying to put that out there. Just stop, bro.
You a liar.
Okay, man. Let's just move. Let's just move on. Nobody in this channel has ever heard me say anything about Lomachenko. So anyway, Adrian Broner defeated the lawyer yesterday. Oh no, that was Friday that he beat the lawyer. I was actually somewhat disappointed in the performance in the sense that when you think about who he was fighting, I expected him to come in and just kind of run through the guy and knock him out. Now, of course, it was an easy fight, but I mean, come on, I just thought he would just run through the guy, and he didn't do that. And then afterwards, he called out Rolly Romero. Who else did he call out after the fight? He called out one other individual, didn't he? It wasn't Regis, right?
He didn't call out Regis. He said the WBC. He wants the WBC belt. He never said Regis' name, but that's who he was talking about.
Yeah. So we've talked about that in the past. I don't think AB can beat. I don't think AB can beat Regis at all. I don't think he has a chance in hell to beat Regis Prograis at this point. And also, Jay, was it just me in chat? Was it just me? But even though he looked like he made the weight, he still looked a little soft. Like that wasn't the same Adrien Broner. Yeah, that wasn't the same Adrien Broner that I saw at 147 against Paulie Malignaggi. Like his body looked a little soft, although he made the weight. So I don't know if he took out muscle to make the weight or what. But I mean, he didn't have like rolls or anything like that. But he looked a little, looked a little soft a little bit. But
he did. He looked a little soft. Granted, it looked like AB was. I mean, that first round, AB was letting his hands go. I think that's around either first round or round 2. He had Hutchinson really, really hurt, but he couldn't get rid of him. AB still does the same type punch. He always do those hooks that were really more like slaps.
Yeah.
He never turned those hooks over. He's still doing the same thing. I mean, I know he was just getting back after being out the ring for 2-3 years. He talking about 140. I don't know if he's gonna be able to make 140 later on this year. Honestly, the 147 seems like it might be a stretch for him right now. But AB is really not a factor. I'm happy he got in there. I'm happy he was able to get a fight in there. Now we'll watch the whole fight press conferences if he fights Rolly. That'll be entertaining as hell. But I think AB is where he's at right now.
Yeah, I think AB what he is right now. I'm glad to see him back. I'm glad to see Don King. Actually, I was actually excited to see him and see what he was up to and see how good a health he's in, and so that's good. AB's done at an elite level in my opinion. I think Billy Hutchinson showcased the fact that he is done at an elite level. So, I mean, I like AB, but I just don't. Yeah, man, he's done. That's all I can really say about it.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, against elite fighters, yeah, I wouldn't want to see that for him.
Nah, I mean, who could
and I don't see Rolly as an elite
for
fighter
him?
at all. So that's why it'd be a funny fight. That'd be a funny fight.
I mean, he could probably beat Rolly, man. Like
Exactly.
Rolly lost to the dude that's 50. So that would be if I was
65.
Don King, that's who I would actually put him in the ring with, man. I would put him in the ring with Rolly Romero to see how he performs. Now Rolly does have power, but at the same time, Broner actually has a pretty good chin, and we know he'll go into a defensive shell where it'll be hard for him to hit. So I kind of think if Broner can get in the inside and throw combinations, just kind of wait behind his guard and then unleash his combinations while Rolly is punching, he could probably catch him in between a punch and get him up out of there. So I don't know. He might be able to beat Rolly.
Yeah, I mean he definitely could probably beat Rolly. Now, anyone else above that, Matias and Regis, I don't see that happening at all.
Nah.
With that, that's who the other person he called out. Supposedly he was talking about Oscar. He said Oscar come over here. They got fishnets for him. So I guess he's talking about Ryan Garcia, who he's trying to bring over.
That's probably not gonna happen, and I actually think Ryan probably wins. Especially with Derrick James in his corner now, he's probably going to improve on a lot of those skills. So I don't think he's going to beat him. I mean, that's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong.
On that.
Ohio style lyrics. What's going on with you, bro? Jay, anything else you want to cover in regards to this? I mean, this isn't really a mover or a shaker relative to the sport.
Nah.
So, okay. It's your world, man. I'm just a squirrel, man. Go ahead and take us where you want to take us.
Well, we may as well go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and get into some of this Spence and Bud talk.
Yeah.
About Spence talking about Bud fighting a broken Kell Brook. Although Bud said he fought the better Kell Brook of the two. Which, that's just crazy.
No, that's absolutely bizarre that he would even make that statement. I'm actually glad that Errol came out and actually addressed that, because when you think about the version of Kell Brook that Errol Spence fought, that was the version that had just gone up to middleweight and gave Triple G a hell of a fight. I mean, to be quite honest with you, until he got called, I would say he was probably winning that fight. And that's one of the people that you can say is my guy is Kell Brook, because I was real big on Kell Brook during that time. And I thought that he was the second best welterweight in the world behind Errol Spence at that time. So when he fought Errol, regardless of the condition of that I can't remember which eye it was, the other eye, that wasn't the eye that Errol Spence damaged, right? Errol Spence damaged the other eye. And when you look at Kell Brook was more durable at that time. He was younger, he was fresher. And then you start thinking about the fact that Terence Crawford fought him, 4 years later? 3 or 4 years later. When did he fight him? He fought him at 17. He fought him in 17. Terence Crawford fought Terence Crawford. It must have been May of 17, I think. And Terence Crawford fought him somewhere, I think maybe like December or November of 2020, if I'm not mistaken. So like three and a half years later that he fought him. The guy was coming from 154 pounds, saying that he couldn't even make the weight anymore. His trainer didn't even want to train him for the fight. And he was still winning the first few rounds until Terence Crawford moved back into the actual stance that he really is, which is a southpaw. I get so tired of hearing that switch hitting crap and how much he does so much because he switch hits. He's not a switch hitter. There is a reason why. And anybody on this anybody that's in this chat knows this, that's followed boxing for a long time. Trainers back in the day would actually tell you not to switch. You shouldn't switch because you have a primary stance. That's your best stance. Why would you go back and forth? Terence Crawford is a southpaw, period, end of story. So, but he eventually caught Kell with a punch that I couldn't even believe actually rocked Kell Brook. It's interesting because I've been watching a lot of Terence Crawford stuff here lately, debating on whether or not I want to do a documentary on him. And you get the opportunity to see a lot of what Terence Crawford does. But, there's no way on God's green earth he fought the better version of Kell Brook. That's my opinion.
Yeah, Jay Saunders has a good point. Porter fought the best Kell Brook of them all. I mean, so that was easy to say on that one. But yeah, it's like people say that, Kell Brook was coming from a loss off of fighting Lil G. That's true. But Spence broke the other side of his face. So if that's the case, what the hell did Bud fight in 2020 when he had both his whole face was broken?
Right. It doesn't make any sense.
You know? And he was coming down in weight. They try to say, well, he was weight drained coming out from fighting Lil G to fight Spence. Well, that was his original weight class to fight anyway. He was just going there for one fight and then come back down. Anyway, that was a mindset for that.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, if he was weight drained then, he's weight drained later as well, because he came down to 147 to fight both fighters. But that's just crazy on that. You know, just take the win. You stopped him, cool. Leave it at that. But you didn't fight the better version of Kell Brook.
Yeah, Crawford reminds me of LeBron James in that he's always trying to change the narrative. And that's one of the things about LeBron that I don't like, man. He's trying to change or control the narrative. And by saying Kell Brook, and I mean, there's going to be a contingent of people that just feel that your competition or the level of your competition is not where it should be. That's just what it's going to be. And you got the opportunity to prove it that you are that dude on July 29th. So stop trying to boast your record. Stop trying to boast your accomplishments. We've talked about his record. We've talked about his accomplishments. They're great. Don't get me wrong. The accomplishments are great. But at the same time, you got to still look at who did you do it against, right? You know, that's why Bill Russell isn't considered the greatest champion of all, or the greatest player of all time, because people always consider who did you do it against. That's why. Jay, let me pause here real quick, man, and say we got 176 people in the building. We got 49 likes. If you get the opportunity, please hit the like button because it helps other people find this great content. I mean, we believe it's great, but maybe you don't. And if you don't, hit the dislike button. But make sure you're engaging with the content. And also, if you're new to the channel, this is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media. We're always dropping content on a regular basis, short clips. We do live streams. We do documentaries. We just did a fight breakdown, the excellence of Errol Spence. So go check that out. But if you're here and this is the first time, become a part of the family. All right, Jay, what were you about to say?
Yeah, now I'm about to say, it's like, also, we don't know what was going on in Brook's personal life at that point in time, because it came out later that he was doing some things where, you know, obviously drugs, stuff like that, were going to impact him back last year or so. So we don't know when that was going on, but it could have been, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But he wasn't the same Kell Brook that fought Spence. He wasn't the same Kell Brook that fought Lil G, nor Porter by the time he fought. But that's just the facts.
It's just the facts, and that's all we state here are the facts. Well, not true. Sometimes we state our opinion, but that's what the show is about. You got to give your opinion, right? All right, man. Anything else in regards to that comment from Errol Spence? I think he said that on the what was it, the big podcast? I believe that was on Shaq's podcast where he said that. So if you guys want to actually, so if you guys want to actually check it out, go check out Shaq's podcast. That's where he made that statement. All right, Jay. What else do we have? We had 30, almost 35 minutes, man. What else we got on tap? Because you know we open the phone lines in about 25 minutes.
Yeah. So let's talk about what does Spence think of Bud? Does he think he's a great fighter? We know Bud doesn't think Spence is top 5 right now. So
yeah, I kind of feel like he doesn't, right? And it's just because of the comments that's been made, right? Like don't get me wrong, he said in the past that Terence Crawford can fight, and I do believe that he feels that Terence Crawford is a really good fighter. But I think he stopped short at great. The comments that he's made, what did he say? Like this, I think this was where they were interviewing him right after the Dallas Cowboy event that he was at, and he was like, you know, this supposedly great. No, it was actually on the big podcast with Shaq where he said this supposedly great fighter. He mentioned that there, and I think he might have mentioned it at the Dallas interview. I can't remember, but on a number of occasions he said that, you know, supposedly this great fighter. When he announced the fight, he said this is the best fight on paper in the last, you know, it was 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever number he used. Yeah. But he said that it could be a one-sided ass whooping. And he said that also on his girlfriend's channel when he announced the fight through her channel. So, I mean, if you really believe in your heart this could be a one-sided ass whooping, then maybe at the end of the day, you don't really truly believe that he's up there where a lot of people are putting him. And we heard him when they had that back and forth when they met back in 2018, and you know he was talking about they said that about Floyd. He was like, you ain't Floyd.
Floyd.
And that's kind of how I see it too, Jay. Like, he's not Floyd, but I'll go into a little bit of why I don't think he's Floyd. Because like I mentioned earlier, I've been looking at a lot of Terence Crawford just videos here lately. Again, trying to decide on whether or not I want to do a documentary on him. I'm struggling, y'all, because I cannot get motivated to actually do the work. But Jay, go ahead. What's your thoughts on that?
But yeah, and Georgia P just added more to what we're talking about here. That he was talking about the odds have him down.
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
after his accident, and eye surgery. So that was even more to it, So I mean, that's what he's alluding to. Like, you're such a great fighter, and why are you just barely a favorite on me after what I've been through?
Right.
Which makes sense. On that, I think both fighters are great fighters currently at this current time frame. They're definitely both great fighters. That's why we're happy to see this fight being made.
Yeah. So let me delve into a little bit. Let me delve into a little bit what I have discovered in looking at Terence Crawford. This is my honest to God assessment about Terence Crawford. So when I look at Terence Crawford, I see a fighter who is, when people talk about his instincts, I don't necessarily see the high level of instinct. I see a fighter who is extraordinarily good on offense, who's a counterpuncher, who can be aggressive, who can move backwards as well, in terms of his offense. And I think, and this is the thing that I don't think people really understand, that reach that Terence Crawford has allows him to counterpunch at a range where more than likely he will not get hit back. And that's part of the reason why he can be so offensive, because he has that range. He can control that range with those long arms and just keep connecting. I was looking at the fight with he and Benavidez, and I noticed how when he knocked Benavidez down, I think it was the first punch or maybe it was knockout, I can't remember. But when he caught him, Benavidez was like a half an inch away from catching him too. Benavidez actually had to reach to catch him. He didn't have the skills. Defensively, he's not defensively responsible. His offense and his reflexes are his defense, right? So coming after you, being able to hit you from a distance you can't hit him from, that stalls your offense, and then he doesn't necessarily have to be defensive. So that's what I see from him, an extraordinarily good, or good offensive fighter. My thoughts are, if you take away his ability to be on offense, meaning if you take away his ability to have the range and be in a position where he can hit and not be hit because he doesn't have the defense, I don't think he can slip inside. If you can take away that range, you can win, because I don't think he has the defensive skills on the inside. And I don't think he really has a lot of the defensive skills on the outside either. He just relies on the reflexes. So that's why I think Errol is a perfect fit for fighting him. Now, if Errol can walk him down, use angles to get on the inside and prevent him from counterpunching, because I think a lot of time, if Errol just stays on the end of that stick, and disrupts Terence Crawford's ability to time and try to counterpunch and then work those angles to get on the inside and start to tear to the body, I think he has an excellent chance to beat Terence Crawford. But I don't see an extraordinarily gifted fighter who should be compared to Michael Jordan. I saw it in Floyd. I'm not seeing it yet in anybody right now because they haven't fought the level of competition, but I saw it in Floyd. I saw that extraordinarily gifted fighter. I don't see that in Crawford.
Yeah, this is not to say he's not a good fighter neither.
I'm not saying he's not a good. I just said he was extraordinarily good offensive fighter.
Yeah, but people would say, like, well, you're not saying that he's the best ever, So people look at it like that. My thing with Crawford is versus Spence is, I'm always been one about fundamentals. I think Spence is more fundamentally sound. I think Crawford is probably more athletic, or he shows it in the ring, than Spence does. Once that athleticism wears down with age, you have to rely on your fundamentals. I feel the person who's more fundamentally sound is going to catch the person that was athletically gifted that is slowing down, a la Roy Jones Jr.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's where I'm looking at from there. And people try to say that Spence doesn't do anything. He's called him himself. We said it before in this channel before as well. Called himself Tim Duncan. I like the analogy he gave out. He said he's Tim Duncan Bud is KG. It's going to be a hell of a matchup on July 29th, July 30th. If you're a Bud fan, Spence wins. Make sure you're here. Bud wins. We may or may not be here, depending on Greg.
I won't be here. Jason will be here. I won't be here. So I want to address what Killionaire El Santo said. He mentioned that there are two different styles. One's defensive, one offensive. That's fine, and I don't deny that. But I would say that Floyd is actually just as elite offensively as he is defensively. He just prioritized defense first. I say that I think Floyd was extraordinary on defense and offense, and especially transitioning from defense to offense. I think Terence Crawford is just extraordinary on offense. That's my take. Nah, guys, I'm just kidding when I say I won't show up. I'll be here, but all the comments will be off. Nobody will be able to say anything in the chat.
I mean, more than likely, depending on how things go, if we're not able to be at the actual fight or in the area, then we might have a fight party. So we'll be kicking with y'all then and there.
And y'all, and if Spence loses that night and we doing a lot, which we will be, you guys will see me crying. You will see a grown man cry. All right, Jay, what's the next topic, bro?
I ain't giving no one that satisfaction.
He gonna cry. He gonna cry when he turn the camera off.
You like this turn out? I ain't gonna see that till.
All right, man.
Nah,
what's the next one?
I can't wait for a good fight, though. Honestly, man. All shit talking aside, this is something we've been waiting for like over a year. You know, so it's finally coming here. A little bit more than a month. But the next topic.
Hold on. Jizzy Burrito said Greg gonna be sad with a 12-pack Bud Light, or I might be happy smoking on some Bud. And before you move on to the next topic, Jay, we got 194 people in the building. We got 79 likes. If you get the opportunity, please hit the like button or the dislike button if you're not really digging the content, but I think you are, and it helps people find our channel. Also, if this is your first time to the channel, this is AM Sports Media, the Angry Man Podcast. We are always dropping boxing related content, whether it's short clips, documentaries. We just did one on the stylistic mastery of Errol Spence. Go check that out. Become a part of the family, man. We welcome everybody, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford fans. You will find them in the comment section, and we go back and forth and have us a good time. And I want to give some love to Brenda McDonald because I just saw her in the chat. Shout out to my girl Brenda McDonald. Jay, what's your next topic?
Hey, James Blackwell, Bo Mac ain't throwing no burger in there. If he throw that burger in, you better believe he's going right behind that burger in there. He eating it. He ain't throwing no food, and he might throw that wrapper in there, throw a ketchup packet in there to stop the fight. He ain't throwing no food in there. But hey, let's talk about, clear up some stuff about Boots and the Bud banter back and forth.
Yep.
What's your take on that?
You talking about Bozy mentioning that he kind of went into how that whole thing played out. I mean, we know that Ennis called him out. That's facts. They've been calling him out for a while. The WBO route thing has always been stupid to me. At the end of the day, shout out to Motorsports, man, $1.99. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. I've always felt that WBO thing was just a trash type of way to try to defend, because at the end of the day, the WBO rankings were not moving. They were literally the same all the way from 2020 up until it was like 2 years. They were like the same rankings. So it was stagnant over there. So if it's stagnant over there and they're allowing Terence Crawford to go X amount of months without actually defending his title against his mandatory, then why wouldn't you go another route? If the IBF is actually forcing fighters to fight and move up the rankings, and the WBO is not forcing fighters to fight each other and move up the rankings, then why would you stay and try to go the WBO route? You're never going to get to them. So yeah, it makes sense. So I just never I never understood that argument. Now, Jerron Ennis, the whole situation with BLK Prime, who, by the way, nobody seems to talk about anymore. I thought they were going to set 2023 on fire. We're halfway through the year, and I think we've seen one fight in Honduras or somewhere. But I never, yeah, I never thought that deal was a real option. I always felt like Desmond Guns was just trying to position himself to try to get to Boots. I don't think he had any kind of he has no contract with Terence Crawford. So there was no opportunity to really, like, all he was doing was baiting Terence Crawford out there to try to get Boots. It wasn't going to happen. Steven Espinosa got on the line with him, realized very quickly that these guys have no real ability or tie to Terence Crawford. And that was it. And so I lean towards what Bozy and Jerron are saying, just because everything that I've seen from those two, to me, I just feel like that's a real stand-up family, and just the way that they comment on different things, and just they seem to be very transparent. Do I always agree with what they're saying? No. But I feel like they're very transparent in what they say, and they truly believe what they say. So I kind of lean toward them. But I don't think Terence Crawford is necessary. I'm not poking at Terence Crawford in this particular case, because in reality, the only way you can poke at Terence Crawford in this particular case is this. He could have chose Jerron Ennis instead of David Avenese. If Desmond Gums wanted the opportunity to have Jerron Ennis in his stable, then he could have gotten Terence Crawford and said, we're going to pay you $10 million to fight this kid, and we're going to leverage that in order to try to get a deal. And even if you couldn't get a deal, you could still try to make that fight. And Terence Crawford, if he really wanted it, he could have fought him then. So that part of it, I agree with him. But outside of that, it is what it is.
Yeah, I found it also interesting in that interview, because this was when on $1 Million Game, when Gilly was on there and they called Bozy, and Bozy called Bozy and Boots, not Boots, but Butt was there, and he referenced that, talking about, he's like, notice when I said, why did you fight David I've been sneezing instead of us, and Butt didn't respond to that, so Bozy was just like, see, he got quiet on that. So I found that interesting as well, that he chose to fight David Avenesian versus, Boots, someone else at that time, because it was voluntary. He wanted to get that bag, but I guess he was only going to get that bag, whatever that bag amount was, because we don't know if it was 10 million or anything less than that, because Bud never confirmed that it was 10 million. He just said he just got that money. So, yeah. But that's all I got on that incident there.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Let's move on. Jay, I think there's a number of other topics, and we got about 10 minutes, man, before we open up the lines, because I'm ready to hear from the folks. No, it's got to be something else. Hold on. No. There's definitely another video right now, because there's a video right now Porter. That's posted as, it's Porter, but then there's another video about what Bernie the Boxer said that we just did today. So I want to run through those two topics first, and then we'll move on. Hold on, I want to say Greg fighting the 10-year-olds on BLK Prime for $12.99. Those 10-year-olds ain't got nothing. They don't want none of this. They don't want any of this. Jay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you kick us off. Which direction you want to go?
Let's go about Bernie the Boxer.
Yeah,
talking about alluding to that he thinks Spence may be on something, because he's never seen Spence break orbital bones like that before regarding Ugas. And this is all regarding because someone's asked about, he had a live 2 or 3 days ago. Bernie Box had a live 2 or 3 days ago on his channel saying that someone came ask him about, hey, as long as Bud don't use those gloves. And that's when he talked about, gave rebuttal about, y'all better make sure Spence is passing these tests or something of that nature there. So yeah, I don't think either fighter is doing any drugs or any anything like that to try to get an edge in the fight game. I think both fighters are clean fighters.
Bernie is one of the most interesting people I've ever saw. Do you know Bernie actually commented on the truth behind Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford? I thought that was interesting. I never went back to see if he actually responded to what I said, but he is interesting. He is boxing's version of Flavor Flav, right? He's like a boxing hype man. And we've tied Terence Crawford to things in the past that Bernie the Boxer has said, and people get mad because they say Terence never said that. But then you see in this video where he's making these accusations, or at least alluding to the possibility of some type of performance enhancement. I don't know, scandal there with Errol Spence. We saw Terence Crawford in that video, Jay. We saw him right in that video. Now, he wasn't there when he was making that comment, but he was definitely there. What I found to be interesting about it was the fact that he referenced, I ain't never seen him do that to nobody eye, right? He referenced the eye. Now, for me, Jay, if I truly have the level of confidence that, Bernie the Boxer has been displaying, talking about he's gonna go home and all he's gonna have is his cows and his chickens and his girl gonna leave him and all his fans gonna leave him and Al Heyman's gonna leave. If you have that level of confidence, then why would you even go there? All I would say is don't worry about the gloves. The gloves gonna be fine. We on the up and up. Your boy gonna get smashed regardless of the fact. But when you reference the fact that he's been damaging and taking these bros' eyes. Well, is Marlo still in the chat?
Yo,
the eye collector.
The eye collector.
The eye collector. The originator of the eye collector. When you reference that, clearly to me, there's some concern in regards to what Errol Spence can do in the ring relative to causing damage to your boy. So I thought it was interesting and revealing. Some people look at it as they're already trying to create an excuse. I just look at it as, hey, I'm concerned about what this guy can actually do in the ring. And if Terence is not careful, he might be the same person getting his eye took.
Yeah, or some ribs.
Ribs, nose, whatever.
Liver, whatever. The thing is, for you to even reference that lets you know some type of concern. Because
absolutely.
Everyone that knows the gloves against David Avenues, they were busted. How? I don't know. Then I think, he's going to use that against Spence. I haven't even mentioned it. I'm not even worried about that, honestly. I'm not worried about that because I'm quite sure they're going to be checked anyway, but I'm not worried about that. I think it's going to be a great fight between the two of them. And truth be told, Spence punishes you. His style is to punish you.
Mm-hmm.
It's to punish you. No, he didn't get Mikey out. He beat the hell out of Mikey though.
Facts.
Mikey was begging his trainers to keep from throwing the towel in. They're gonna throw the towel in because he was getting his ass beat so bad. And that was from Spence just boxing Mikey.
Yeah, in fact. I want to address what I'm sorry if I pronounce your name. Everybody, I know you're new to the channel because this is my first time seeing your name. And if you didn't know, Greg is terrible with names. So I think it's Kalilianaire El Santos. He says that skills pays the bills. Errol's going to get the brakes beat off him. Here's the knock in what you're saying. Errol also has skills, man. I don't get what you guys are talking about. Errol also has incredible skills, and more importantly, he's fundamentally sound. Terence Crawford, and I would tell you anybody, even the people who are Hall of Famers who support him, understand that he's not fundamentally sound. But go ahead, Jay. My bad for cutting you off.
Nah, you good.
All right.
Nah.
Yeah, we got one more topic, and that's Shawn Porter and his comments on the Porter Way podcast. Shout out to Shawn Porter. And man, I wish I could get an interview with his dad. I've been trying to figure out a way to get an interview with his dad. I don't know. Maybe somehow I'll get some backdoor channel and figure out a way to get an interview with his dad. But go ahead, bro, because I really want to understand why his dad, how his dad sees it, just because of his history and background with both of the fighters. But Shawn Porter, Yep, Shawn Porter. What's your thoughts on that?
Shawn Porter dismisses he wasn't the same versus Bud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On his that podcast was what was that, Wednesday night?
Yeah, it was sometime this week. You know, keep on stuff like that.
Yeah. But he was talking about, he did all, as far as the testing goes, the physical aspect, he felt that he was still there. But he wasn't doing what his dad wanted him to train harder. Wanted him to do some other stuff. He said my dad was making it seem like I was fighting King Kong or Godzilla. He said King Kong, Godzilla, whatever it was, one or two.
Yeah.
Try to get the point.
Yeah.
So, but he felt like, the body, the heart rate, all that stuff, the miles run, all that was up to par.
Right.
He felt that he just couldn't go to the next level against Terence. He felt like against Errol, he felt like he needed everything. Against
Right.
Bud, he felt like he was there. He just couldn't take it to that next level. He regret not putting Bud in a firefight. Now that doesn't mean he would have won the fight necessarily, but he regrets not doing something different. Bud got latched on to what he was doing. The one thing that he was doing, Bud latched on and adjusted to it.
Yeah.
And made it, and his dad threw the towel in.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you and I see this the same. Physically, everything can check out, right? You can be the same person, right? Physically, but if you're not there mentally, and that's not just in sports, that's in work, that's in whatever it is you're trying to be the best in. If you're not mentally there, you're going to find yourself in some challenges. And I know Monday morning is an example I think that all of us can relate to, in the sense that when you come back off that weekend on that first day of work, you are not there mentally. And so it's always harder to get up for that day. To your point, he mentioned that, he didn't feel that Terence Crawford was the big bad wolf. He felt that Errol was the big bad wolf. His dad was talking about him like he was the big bad wolf. He didn't see it. His dad wanted him to take to the next level in training. He didn't do it. Now, again, I don't know what the numbers are that he's referring to, but maybe his dad wanted him to go to the next level because this guy was better than what he was thinking he was, and that he was going to have to dig a little bit deeper, man, and go a little bit further. And Shawn didn't put in the requisite work in order to do that. I mean, it sounds like that's what he's saying. Now, he may deny that. He may say, hey, at the end of the day, all my numbers read out the same. I felt the same, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, we do know that he didn't look good in his fight prior. And, I mean, he was already podcasting and stuff like that. So, I mean,
he's doing everything.
It is what it is. I mean, if he feels like he was the same fighter, I won't dispute it. But just based off my eyes, I didn't see the same fighter in there versus Terence Crawford as I did versus Errol Spence Jr. So, Jay, that brings us right up on an hour, my friend. So it's time for us to start opening up these phone lines. While I'm doing that, we got 218 in the building. We got 104 likes. If you get the opportunity, please hit the like button or the dislike button if you don't like the content, but make sure that you're engaging. And also, if you're new to the channel, become a subscriber. This is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media. We're always dropping content on a regular basis. And then I also want to pause and give some love to the other content creators in the building. We got T-War of the Mic Check Podcast in the building. That's like a sister channel to us. Make sure you go check out T-War and the Mic Check Podcast. We got the Real Marlo TV in the building. Marlo has actually been on our platform before, man. So real good dude, man, that we enjoy his content as well. Definitely the boxing source, Manager Marty. That's my dude there as well. Manager Marty and I periodically exchange texts and things of that nature and have conversations. Who else, man, did we Showboating Sports, man. I love his content as well. Go check out Showboating Sport. All right, bro. Let me get these phone lines open.
Yeah, I'm just checking the chat. People just make it seem like Spence doesn't have a chance. Like, although I picked Spence to win this fight, I'm not saying Bud doesn't have a chance to win this fight. It's a close fight.
Absolutely.
The way I see a lot of Bud fans, Bud's just gonna knock him out easy.
I know. I see Spence fans saying that he gonna wash him too. I'd be surprised if either one of these guys washes the other. I'd be surprised. I think if Terence beat Errol, is because he clipped him with something. I don't see him just keeping Errol off of him. He had to clip him with something to keep Errol off of him, and then maybe he could outbox him in that way. Now, if Errol can primarily fight on the inside, I think he could possibly dominate, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do that either. All right, we got our first caller. We got the 857 in the building. You're on the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg, man. What's your name?
This is Walt from Boston. You know what it is. Man.
Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. As soon as you say Boston, I know what it is. What's going on with you, man?
What's happening?
I'm just going on, Jay. My thing with the Terence and Errol fight is, to me, it's a 50-50 fight. I just think that Errol has to be technically sound like we know he is, but he can't be repetitive because that's what Terence feeds off. If Terence sees anything in one round, it comes once, and he sees it coming a second time, his reflexes are good enough to bang, catch you with that. So my reason for thinking Errol's going to win the fight is that him and James have been working on this fight for a minute. They know the tendencies that Crawford has. So I guarantee you, you've seen Errol box and you've seen him brawl. He's going to bring a little of both in every round. It's going to be, I guarantee you, he's up in the ante every time we see him lately. It's going to be something we ain't never seen from this book.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that because remember, people said that although Mikey was coming up in weight, they said Mikey was just going to outbox Spence.
Terence, man. And the thing is, because Terence has that creep mentality, so you can't give him any of that. He has the same kind of thing that Tank does, but not as explosive. Yeah. He has that thing, if you make a mistake, that's your ass.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is, I want to see how Terence is going to deal with them punches on the hips and them stuff that, like, other guys he hasn't fought done. Like, Errol hits you with stuff that you don't get hit with a normal dude. They're mostly breaking you down. Like, he hits you with, like, stuff on the side. Like, he tries to chop you down. So Terence has never fought anybody like that.
The other thing that I want to see, man, is I want to see how Terence Crawford responds to a guy that more than likely, even though he's counterpunching, he'll still be in range, unlike other fighters where he's not in range. So the reason why he got dropped against Mean Machine was because, you know, he was trying to counter. He was in range, and Mean Machine was able to catch him. Spence is, although he doesn't have the same range as Terence Crawford, he has a 72-inch arm reach. So he's probably still going to be in range as he's trying to counter.
Definitely.
And I think Spence is agile enough where if Terence is trying to control that distance to the point where he can't get hit, well, he's not going to be able to hit Errol effectively either. And then I also think Errol is very defensive minded as well. I think he'll be able to dodge a lot of Terence punches. Now, the other thing that I want to see from Errol is how does Errol deal with the counter punching style? Like, how does he get on the inside? I've seen some videos, and I kind of see how Errol deals with counter punchers a bit, and I'll probably do a little bit of a breakdown on that. But I want to see how he deals with an athletic counter puncher like Terence Crawford. Now, I don't think Terence Crawford is going to be on his bike and try to move and box. I don't think he's going to be able to do that for 12 rounds. A lot of people like to attribute his mobility to the reason why he'll be able to win this fight. But if you look at what Terence Crawford has done at welterweight, he has not been that mobile. He's been more trying to stalk fighters or wait for fighters to try to, you know, run in on him and try to counter him. So that's what I've seen from Terence Crawford. What's your thoughts on that?
He's going to have to be more mobile in this fight. If he stands and fights Errol the way he's standing and fight the last two guys, he's going to get broken down because his speed isn't what it was. He's still quick, but it's not the same as what it was.
I agree.
And to me, it's just, I think Errol's size and just people just underestimate Errol's footwork, man. I just think if Errol times him, this ain't Gamboa, this ain't like Mimi. I think Errol could like really hurt him, like early in that fight.
Yeah, he can hurt him for sure.
Because I've seen Terence get wobbled by dudes who don't hit, man, nowhere near like Errol hits, especially if Errol catches him flush. That's the thing that Terence and them they're overlooking. They're thinking this dude, because Errol makes it look so easy standing right in front of a lot of cats. But if you really watch his footwork, it's nice because I've seen even the Ugas fight and the Porter fight where you'll see a shot where you think it's going to hit him and he just makes a little adjustment and, man, it rolls over his shoulder. He's nice with that.
Yep. I totally agree. I agree with you.
But I want to get out of here real quick. I just want to say something. Devin Haney's in a four-way box. If he goes to 140, it's Regis or Teo, and if he stays at 135, it's Tank and Shakur. And he can't. To me, I don't see him winning any of them fights. If Regis fights, I mean, if Teo fights like he fought last night.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And they robbed that other dude, man. Muhammad McGee is a bum, man. Stop playing. Y'all have a good day.
Facts.
See, all right, man. Appreciate you. I'll let y'all say that.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good one. All right, man. We got the 203 in the building. You're on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. What's your name?
What's going on, man? It's your boy JD, man. I hope y'all doing good.
Man, how you
I
doing,
got a
bro?
lot of people in Atlanta, man. So, I'm from CT. I'll be on a couple panels and shit like that. But listen, man, I love what y'all doing. Keep doing what you're doing because you're not with the nonsense. Y'all call out BS. I love that. You give very good assessment. But listen, man, I just want to say, like, I see a lot of Bug fans in the chat. And for the past 10 months I've been following y'all, it's the same bullshit. Like, what fighter at 147 do we see Bug fighting that deciphers if he can handle a pressure fighter that's defensively responsible with very good performances at a higher level at 147 in Errol Spence? I'm curious.
No one.
Like,
No one.
as a matter of fact, who was ranked or a top 10 welterweight that Bud Crawford has fought at all at 147?
Wasn't Mean Machine ranked that top 10 though? Wasn't he ranked top 10 welterweight?
I think he was ranked top 10 at the time.
No. He was right outside of the top 10. I think Mean Machine was ranked number 11. Virgil Ortiz was just a little bit higher than Boots. And if I'm not mistaken, Abenesian was above Mean Machine.
6.
I could be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, Abenesian was above Mean Machine. So that just tells me that they've been planning this shit for a while. You know what I'm saying? So, and furthermore, we talk about what Errol Spence has done with all of these opponents in the the welterweight class, and he's fighting guys that are past their prime, semi-retired, doing podcasts. Both of their eyes broken on either side of their face, right? You got a guy with a handicap. His leg is busted from a bullet, right? But these are guys that deem to Bud Crawford's fans, this is who they deem as a feasible enough iteration of skillful to be compared to Errol Spence. You're out of your fucking mind. You're out of your mind. Derek James has an undisputed champion, 4-belt champion that beat everybody he's lost to or went to a draw with and became undisputed, fought his way through to the top. And he has a unified champion that fought each of the champions whose belt he's taken from their fights and won. And you mean to tell me Crawford at 35, which I just watched the Abenesian fight, and this guy looks slower than molasses. Like his feet is planted. I remember specifically in round number 4, Abenesian had Bud Crawford on the ropes, and he hit him on the left side of his body. And what did Crawford do? He went. He dipped down to the right. You know what that means to me? The minute the pace start beating on Bud's body, he's going to fold. And I can't wait. July 30th, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be on KK. I'm going to be on Knockout Boxing 86. I'm going to be on Blue Blood. I'm going to be on Boxing Eagle. I'm going to be on Fanon. Talking shit to all of you dummies in the fucking comment section. Excuse my language, but, this is the Angry Man podcast. I get angry with stupidity. You know what I'm saying?
You good. You good.
They're fucking stupid, bro. Like, 1 + 1 is 3, right? I say this all the time. Anybody that knows me, 1 + 1 is fucking 3. I tell you what. If you could name me anybody on Bud Crawford's resume, right, that beats Kell Brook at the height of his career, I'll be quiet. Because last time I checked,
no one.
Kell Brook beat Shawn Porter, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. No one. No one on his resume.
I'm just making a point. I'm just, I'm just saying, bro.
I 100% agree with you with everything you said. The only caveat I'm going to add, though, and I think this is a fair caveat to add because I'm going to be balanced in this situation. I don't think Errol has fought anybody quite like Terence either. But if I had to guess who would be able to deal with whose style better, I think it's Errol because of the technical proficiency that he operates under, right? I think that system that Derrick James has is a really good system. And I don't think people quite understand the nuances of Errol Spence's game. And I did, like I said, I did the mastery of Errol Spence's style. And I could have put a ton more in there, right? In terms of some of the nuances of Errol Spence's game that makes him so technically sound and why he's going to be tough to beat. So that's the caveat I wanted to add.
Yep. And I completely agree. One thing though, what's this guy's name? Bandel, you a bitch because you won't call, right? But you add me in the comments, right? And who's this other guy, Mark M? Turn it around. What is there to turn around? You're talking about Amir Khan was ranked. Kell Brook is the best fighter on Errol's resume. Okay, cool. So who's the best fighter on Bud Crawford's resume?
Well, he said it was Ricky Burns. He said it was Ricky Burns was his best win.
Ricky fucking Burns, bro. Y'all have a good day.
I appreciate you for calling, bro.
Hey, I appreciate y'all. Keep doing what you're doing. Again, my name is JD. These people are fucking stupid, and I can't wait to be here on July 30th.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for calling in, bro.
JD.
Later.
All right, be good.
All right, man. That was JD in the building from the 203. Real quick, we got 229 people in the building. We got 123 likes. If you get the opportunity, please hit the like button. It helps people find this content. Or if you don't like the content, make sure you hit the dislike button. But make sure that you are always engaging with our content. And then also, AM Sports Media, Angry Man Podcast. That's Jason. That's myself. You will catch us here all the time, dropping content, whether it's short clips, documentary, stylistic breakdowns like we just did last week on Errol Spence. Come be a part of the family, subscribe. And then also, we do have members, right? So we got a couple of members in the building right now. Brian S. is a member of the channel. The members help us to create these documentaries, create these fight breakdowns. So think about becoming a member. It's $2.99 a month. All right. We got a couple of people dialing in, Jay. We got the 310 is in the building. You're on the Angry Man Podcast. What's your name?
Hey, what's up, Jason and Greg? It's Adrian from LA, baby. What's up, man?
I thought that was you.
Adrian?
What's going on, Adrian?
What's up? Hey, man, I just want to make a little comment here, man. Canelo, biggest duck of all time. So I heard that he was offered $50 million to take on the Mexican Monster, and he backed out. What's up with that, man? What do you guys say about that?
So honestly, go ahead, Jay. You got it.
Nah, I'm trying to be cool, man. Because that's a trigger for me, Adrian. I'm sick of it. Especially when I'm seeing rumors and reading stuff about he might be going up to try to fight Bout Jack instead. All this and that. I'm just tired of it. I don't like. I call it a duck as well, Adrian.
Yeah, my opinion on it. Canelo Alvarez is man. I thought he was going to consider taking that $50 million. It's been made clear, at least from my understanding, that Bivol is only interested in fighting him at 168 pounds for his titles. Canelo doesn't want that. He want to fight him at 175. So if that's the case, you don't have a Bivol fight there. Now, if you're going to fight Bivol, okay, you got a plausible excuse why you're not going to face Benavidez. But without fighting Bivol, where are you going without? And this is where the sanctioning bodies need to step in, man, and do their job. When was the last time that he defended his WBC title? Everybody loved talking about Errol Spence. When was the last time he defended this title, the WBC title? What about Canelo Alvarez? When is the last time he defended against anybody that was definitely anybody of any note?
That's true.
It's time for him.
100%, I agree.
Yeah, it's time for the sanctioning bodies to step in and make something happen, Adrian. That's my opinion.
Yeah, you're cutting out, Greg. Oh.
Yeah, I'm here. I just stopped. I said that's my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, man. So that's just ridiculous, man. Something's got to be done about that. And I have another thing, so when it comes to Canelo, okay, now I know that Eddie Hearn is his promoter and all that, okay, but how do you make money? Because I know because he makes big bucks, okay, but how do you pay somebody like that when okay, if he's going to be getting $20, $30, $40 million per fight, okay, how do you pay him when no one's going to be doing the pay-per-views? Because No one's going to be paying for that crap. I mean, for that shit when he's fighting against these nobodies. I mean,
right.
How does Eddie Hearn make money off that? I'm really worried about. I'm not worried about that. I'm just thinking about that. How do you make money off that guy? Yeah. Because if he's going to be taking these guys that have no pulse, like Greg would say, have no pulse, then how are you going to make money off that? I mean, there's money. The only fight bigger than Spence and Crawford that would make more money than Spence and Crawford, and I think that fight would actually make more money than actually Tank and Ryan, would be Benavidez and Canelo. I mean, I'm not going to say it would be a better fight, but it would make more money. That's what I think. The pay-per-views would be there. But
I agree.
How do you make money? Yeah, but how do you make money when you're fighting against these nobodies?
Well, they're not making money. The Zone has been losing money for years, so they're not making money.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. But why do they keep doing it? I mean, and like you said, the sanctioning bodies, they got to do something about that because he's been holding on to those belts for too long, and he's not been fighting anybody, nobody. I mean, he's been shooting these John Ryder's bullshit and this and that. I mean, even when he fought Plant, he thought that the only reason he fought Plant, this Plant was coming off a year hiatus, whatever, and he really thought he could beat Plant. He beat Plant, whatever, but he only fights people that he believes he could beat. And I don't give a shit what anybody says. He does not believe that he could beat Benavidez. Straight up, he doesn't believe that.
Doesn't seem like he does.
I think it's that and the fact that, you know, he'll be fighting another Mexican. He'll lose that mental as being the number one Mexican fighter. You know, that's another thing he's losing.
Man, but you've never heard any Mexican ever say that until Canelo came out with that bullshit, because you never heard Chavez say that. You never heard anybody, Marquez, Barrera. No one ever said that. I won't fight a Mexican. Shoot, if anything, you've been doing a Mexican right because you're giving them a payday. Why are you not giving a Mexican a payday?
Facts.
Yep.
But that makes no sense. Facts. You know what, man? Man, I'm going to leave you at that point right there. Oh, yeah, one more thing. Boots is going to beat the hell out of Villa. Guaranteed, man. Boots in 3 rounds, man.
I don't disagree.
I'm going to let you guys cook on that, whatever. Hey, man, I want to thank you guys for the time and your effort, whatever. Hey, man, appreciate everything you guys do. God bless you both. Shout out to my dad in heaven. Love you, Dad. And to my son, Jeremiah. Love you, son. Hey, you guys have a real nice day, Jason and Greg. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Appreciate you, Adrian. Thank you for calling, bro.
Adrian.
All right. Shout out, man. Bye.
Later.
And then he's not going to fight Bivol at 168. If you don't fight Bivol, what's the name? This is bad.
All right. We got the 414 in the building. You're on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. What's your name?
James.
James, what's going on?
What's happening, man?
What's going on, my man? I just want to get to that Buzz guy. What's his name? Bernie the Draws Washer. That dude. That dude he like Flavor Flav. He like a hype man. Like he deserved a trophy with a pair of nuts on him. I know that's your guy, but man, you is going too far. Like he take things way far, like talking about his girl and all that. Like you getting personal, like you going way too far. I just don't like him. I feel like if you got to talk about a man, family, and talking about what he do in his personal life, I feel like that's like pure hate. It's just hating. Like I ain't never seen no dude like that. Like that's so like. And his fans is just like him. Like Buzz fans, they just like him. They talk stuff just like that. They talk about personal life. Like it's just stupid, man. Like this about boxing. I can see you on the boxing level. You talking about it, but you talking about a man's family. You talking about his girl. Like man, he like P Diddy. Like what's his name? DJ Khaled. Like this dude a hype man. And he's like the only dude in boxing that does it like this, like on this type of level. Like he's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
Like man, that's all I want to say. It's just, man, I don't know.
I don't disagree with you at all, man. My comment on Bernie the Boxer is I had never really heard of him until probably like like the last year or so. Because I remember you were telling me about him. I'm like, I don't even know who this dude is. Is he a boxer?
Right. I thought when I first looked at him, I thought he was a Bud Mechanic or something. The way he looked, with some big ass boots on and shit, some big ass brown boots. He always wear them gold ones. Like he got the same style. Like This dude gotta be Bud's mechanic or something. Like this dude look like he be changing car oil and all type of shit. Like man, dude, sit your and then on the live, I don't know, but I think he called Charlo on them bum. He kept saying the word bum. I'm looking like broke as you is, like you ain't got nowhere near their money. Like how you gonna call somebody broke? You definitely not to be calling him broke, looking like Buzz shoe shiner or something. Like man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got on it, man. It's just funny, man. That dude bought me the drawers washer. That dude is funny. Like real funny.
Man.
Yeah.
I got you. Well, I appreciate you calling in, bro. Thank you.
All right. God bless.
All right, man. Same to you, bro.
All right.
Talking about man's, household stuff like that. People had the jokes about Spence and that tragic car accident. Some people started getting on Bud about prior issue he had with the police at one point in time. I'm like, I'm not going there with him. I want both of them to be healthy and be good on the outside, just like I want to be good on the inside.
Yeah, we keep it boxing here, man. We keep it boxing. Okay, I always get this area code confused, so I ain't gonna guess who it is. We got the 510 in the building. Who do we have on the line?
All right, that's Donald from the Bay.
What's going on with you, man?
What's up, man? I just had a couple topics. First on Tio. I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of rooting against him because some of the comments he's been making. But I gotta give props is due. He did his thing last night,
Mm-hmm.
But I just find it funny, like these fans are so fickle. 1 minute like he was a bum. Now they're saying he could be Devin. Devin better stay away from him. Okay, but just 24 hours ago, he was ducking Devin. Now Devin better duck him. Like, it's just funny way how these fans kind of turn. I mean, he did look good last night, but Josh Taylor and Devin are two different fighters. So I still think Devin. If they were to fight, I still would think Devin will win. But, like you said, he did. And that little thing, I'm sure you've seen a little interview where Dad interrupted. That kind of seemed staged a little bit. Because if it was something that was really like wild, I figured they would have edited that out. I feel like that was kind of staged.
What are you talking about specifically? I don't think I saw it.
Oh, well, it's an interview that he did with Mark Kriegel.
No, I saw that. I saw that. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I saw what you're talking about. Yeah.
That looked a little staged to me because it's like, why would you keep that in? Like, I've never seen, like, I'm sure interviews get interrupted all the time and we don't see it because they edit it out. So I feel like that looked a little.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong, but that looked a little staged right there. I don't know, because because they're like, oh yeah, he better pull up the fight. He doesn't look mentally right and all that. I mean, like that looked. I mean, he hasn't been mentally right. I mean, allegedly, since the Cambosos fight. Remember, I mean, the Cambo leading up to that, he had a lot of drama going on with his father and stuff like that. So,
right.
I mean, and I feel like these fighters can't use that as an excuse because I'm sure all of these fighters got stuff going on. I'm sure Spence probably got stuff going on right now. I'm sure Crawford probably got stuff going on right.
Absolutely.
These fighters are still human. These fighters are still human. They still got kids. They still got cousins, and and they're rich, so they got people always hit them up. Hey, can I have this? Can I? So all of these fighters got stuff going on personally.
Totally, 100% agree.
But I just wanted to say that. I mean, I can't say like I said he did look good last night, but I just find it a little fickle how these fans. Oh man, Devin better stay away from him. Devin, he better watch out moving up to 140 because it's like whatever. But then I wanted to go into on the Spence. I find it real funny that if you pay attention, Spence is actually an underrated boxer because I mean I'm not saying like his skills. I'm just saying like his persona because. Like, when you say Spence, whenever boxing fans say Errol Spence, you think of, like, man, a beast. But I don't know, it feels like it's just me, like, when it gets closer to the fight, it's almost like he's like the underdog. Even going back to, like, Mikey, people were saying that he was going to lose to Mikey. I mean, I know in Vegas he was favored, but I remember a lot of people, oh, Mikey, he's technically smart. He's a better boxer. He's more experienced. Oh, he's older. Oh, he better stay away. And then, I mean, I could kind of see the Danny thing because that was his first fight coming back off a car wreck. People were, Danny, he got the one hit. He's a counter puncher. He got the one hit. And then even the the August fight. There was a lot of people doubting him, and then now with the Crawford fight, it's just a lot of people always doubt. So it's like he's actually underrated.
Right. I don't disagree with that at all, man. That's basically what the stylistic mastery video basically demonstrates, is that he's underrated. He's really underrated.
Yeah. Yeah, for him to be like one of the biggest stars in boxing, he sure does get doubted a lot. Like, I don't hear Tank like getting doubted like that. I don't hear a lot of these fighters, Teo, but it's just something about Spence. Like, the closer it gets to the fight, all these, I don't know, he better watch out, man. And like the people, and like I said, I feel like Terence is making the same mistake Mikey did. Like because I remember Mikey was making the same. He's just like he's a Deontay Wilder. He can't box. Yeah. You can't. You just gotta stay away. And I'm like, if y'all think that all Spence has is just an inside game, then okay, they're fair for that. But like I said, that man fought on Olympics. He couldn't have made it on the Olympic team just knowing how to fight on the inside.
Facts, big facts. I don't disagree with anything you're saying.
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of people are doubting him. So, and it's like a lot of legends. Like, I don't know, did he cuss like all of, because it's like every legend, like from Roy to Floyd. I heard Floyd come out recently talking about he pulling for pulling for blood. Sugar Ray, like damn near every boxing legend always pick again. I think the only one that picked for him was Mike. But everybody, all the boxing, and I'm not just talking about this fight. I'm talking the past fights. Like all the legends are always picking against him. It's like, did he I don't know. It's like, man, these legends sure do hate on Spence.
I think it's because they styles that resonate with them. I can understand why Floyd would think that, because the style resonates with Floyd. The style resonates with Sugar Ray, with Roy. I don't understand Antonio Tarver, because in all honesty, his Errol Spence style should resonate with Tarver more than Terence Crawford, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, there's a lot of people picking Terence Crawford, and that's perfectly fine. There's been a lot of situations where, and maybe they might be right, or maybe they might be wrong. We'll see.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just find it interesting, but like I said, this would be the first fight that Spence would be like probably big time underdog from his peers to legends. So I want to see, like, I'm a Spence fan. Spence is my favorite fighter. So, but I do want to see how he reacts to being doubted like this, because this is the first time in his career I've ever seen him be like fully like people that's really like picking against him. So yeah, I really so I really I want to see what he how he come out, because. Yeah, this is like unbelievable. I mean, it is like, I know Terence he's been fighting longer and all that, but when you look at the level of competition, it's not even close. So I just don't get how like Errol just doubted like this.
We'll find out come July 29th. That's all I got to say. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I lean toward Errol to be the winner by late stoppage, but we'll see what ends up happening. Anything else you want to share with the people?
Oh, no, I just wanted to just chime in on that. I love the show. I just had to chime in. I was lucky I got a chance to get in, because usually your lines be flooded. So I was like, okay, let me call in right quick.
All right. Appreciate you for calling in, man. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. Have a good one. All right, let me just get to Jesse White real quick, Jay. We got a new subscriber. Enjoy y'all content. Is Bernie the Bopper the same dude that Errol checked backstage with Bud? No, he is not. That was a different dude. I think him and Rolly were classmates. I get you. Hey, we got the 310 in the building. This is usually Adrian, but I know he already called in, so it's not. So what's your name, man?
What's going on? This Khalillionaire El Santos.
Khalillionaire El Santos. What's going on, man?
What's going on, fellas? Much love to everybody.
Appreciate you, man. What's going on? I already know you about to go in for Terence Crawford, man. So what you got for us?
No, I'm not. I'm an actual boxing fan. I go back to the early mid '80s, man, with this boxing. So it's like I like the sweet science of it. It's not even about being a fan of any boxer. I love the sport itself. But
gotcha.
Just to break down, I like Spence. Spence is a hell of a fighter. I give him all the props in the world. The man knows how to stand in the pocket. He can take fire. He can give fire back.
You know, he definitely has a style that many try to replicate, but they don't hold up under that type of pressure in the ring. So Spence definitely has the goods from his side. Now, what I see from Bud's side is Bud is what you call a traditional technical boxer, where he can fight backing up, he can come in, he can slip punches, he shoot from angles. So his size is something to be in question, because everybody's saying he's a smaller man. We get it. We've been seeing that for years. And we've also seen upsets from the smaller guys on the bigger guys. So I really don't factor in the size thing. I think Bud's strength is going to be underestimated, not just by the fans, but I think Spence is kind of underestimating Bud's strength, you know, since he said he was light in the ass and all that. I'm just listening to the fighters and seeing where their head is at leading up to this fight, because that's how you kind of can gauge, you know, what they're thinking. Because at the end of the day, they're both skilled fighters, so we can't really go in here saying that one is more skilled than the other, because they're both elite level fighters. So you can't disrespect either one of them's resume, because whoever they put in front of them, they got them out of there, and that's the bottom line. When you get in between them ropes, you're putting your life on line. I don't care if it's a taxi cab driver, a bartender, it don't matter. Once you get in that ring, you're throwing punches, and if you get hit with the right punch, you're going to sleep.
Facts.
So the bottom line is, I respect both fighters. I just think Bud is going to edge it out just based on his ability to adapt on the spot. I've seen him do it, like, up close. The dude has some instincts that are pretty high level. Spence definitely has what it takes, though, to beat, but I just don't know if he's going to do it that night. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why it's a 50-50 fight. It's not as easy as everybody says it's going to be. I see a lot of fans saying, "Oh, Spence is going to body him. He going to break his bones." It's like, dude, stop it, knock it off, man. I could agree with you if that is what Spence does consistently. But when you're talking about what he did with Kell Brook, who was already pretty much broken-faced after Triple G, he was already beat up. The dude had already had his retina detached. Like, he was already a beat-up fighter. So when Spence got him, he didn't have 100% Kell Brook. The dude was beat up. I mean, he fought Triple G. Stop it. Ugas stood there in front of him to get hit. So, yeah, if you stand in front of Errol Spence, he's going to beat you up. That's a fact. It's not rocket science. This is boxing. If you stand in front of a puncher like Spence, you're going to get beat up, period. Crawford is not going to stand there to get hit. So that's why it's a 50-50 fight, because you don't know exactly who's going to be able to get off their game plan. I think that's what it's going to come down to, the game plan.
Yeah, and that's to me that's partly why it's such an intriguing fight, right? So it's been an intriguing fight because it's been talked about for so long. But I truly do believe that you got two different skill sets that could possibly offset the other. Now, it depends on I feel like, and this is my opinion, I feel like Spence has demonstrated more in terms of like what he is against high level competition than Bud has, because I don't agree with that. Bud's competition has been at the level that it needed to be. But stylistically, Bud is a good matchup to see how Spence would deal with that and vice versa. The thing about Ugas, and this is where I disagree with Ugas, the Ugas comment. I think Ugas to some degree is forced to actually fight that fight, right? I don't think you can just consistently move from Errol like all fight long. At some point, you're gonna have to fight in the pocket. Yeah,
I don't mean just move recklessly. At the end of the day, you know, boxer knows when to sit down on his punches. So the sweet science of boxing is, if you look at Pretty Boy Floyd compared to Money Mayweather, Pretty Boy knew how to sit down when it came down to it. He wasn't just defensive. Floyd back then had offense. He'll put you on your backside. When he became Money Mayweather, he went more defensive. So that's what I mean by there's a time and a place to choose. It's like you choose the battlefield. It's like, all right, do I want to fight this dude on flat ground, or do I want to fight him from the hilltop? You decide where you want to fight this person. You don't let Spence dictate where the fight is at. That's the difference. I think he's able to bully those other guys into fights that he chooses the battleground. He chooses the site, the time, the place. He's dictating everything. I don't think Crawford is going to allow that. That's just my personal opinion.
That's a great point that you're making there. This fight could probably be decided by which guy is able to force their style of fight. The guy that always fights from range, and can he continue to force that? or the guy that fights from the inside, can he force that fight? If Errol is able to force the inside fight, I got him. And if it's consistently, he's probably going to win. Now, I was looking at some stuff from Terence Crawford. He's actually a decent body puncher. I'd be curious to see if he tries to try that with Errol Spence, try to body punch the body puncher, because of course the body puncher don't like the body punches. So I'd be curious to see if he tries that.
We could get a situation where you can see both of them switching styles, like where you might see Terence try to fight inside and Errol might use his boxing skills. We don't know. That's why I said we're going to see what game plan each of them bring in, because I'm sure that they're going to have a list of things that they're going to want to try to do in the ring to see where the other guy is at. And based on that, it's like you're going to fill them out. Probably the first 2 rounds is probably going to be fill-out rounds. And then after that, I think we're going to see fireworks. You know what I mean? So I expect it to be a hell of a fight. I expect it to be a throwback fight, kind of like Hearns and Hagler. I just don't expect it to end as fast as Hearns and Hagler.
I don't think it's going to end as fast as Hearns and Hagler either. And I'm curious to see how it ends up matching up. Now, is it possible that one of these guys washes the other one? It's possible. If it happens, I don't think it's probable, but it's possible. Is it possible that one of these guys washes the other? Yeah, I don't think it's. Yeah. I don't think it's probable, but I think it's possible, right? And the reason why I say this is because if Terence can clip Errol, and he has enough power to really get his attention, then maybe there's a possibility that Errol becomes gunshot. Yeah, actually, that probably is not the case. Right. Even when he got hit hard by Ugas, he didn't really do that. But maybe that's possible. If Errol can fight, Errol can fight inside 80% of the time of that fight and continue to force Terence and just run him out of gas,
that'll be a fight all day.
It'll get ugly. Yeah, it'll get ugly in the second half of the fight. So I can see those things happening, right? But that's the thing. We don't know what's going to happen. And that's what made this fight so intriguing.
Most definitely, man. I just had to call in and show you guys some love, man. You know, I like being able to hear everybody's, excitement around this fight, because it is a big fight that we've had in a long, long time. So, yeah, this should be a good one, man. I know I'm putting some money down on Bud, so it don't matter either way. But I do want to see them dudes get in there and handle their business.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see it, man. I'm waiting to see it.
Putting no money.
And just for the record, I got Errol by late stoppage. That's what.
Yeah, me too. I got Bud by late stoppage. I think Bud is gonna go to the body. I think Bud's plan is to go to the body early on Spence to slow him down, because everybody's talking about that pressure, and I think people fail to realize that Bud started off as a body puncher. That was his thing. He used to knock people out to the body. So it's going to be interesting. Let's just say that it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be damn interesting, man. All right, man. I appreciate you calling in, bro.
Man, much love.
All right, man. Same to you. Thank you.
All right, now.
Oh man, that was Killian. I got to start making sure I pronounce his name correctly. So let me pause here, Jay. We got 237 people in the building. We got 164 likes. If you get the opportunity, please hit the like button or the dislike button if you don't like the content, but I'm sure you do. And also, if you're new to the channel, this is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media. We are always dropping content on a regular basis. Breakdowns, short videos, documentaries. We do it all here. Become a part of the family. We also got family in the building. T-Water, the Mic Check Podcast, the Boxing Voice. We got the Real Marlowe TV, and go check them out. But we also mess around with Manager Marty and Showboating, man. So check them out as well. I got to get those things off fast, bro. This is the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. We got a 210 in the building. What's your name, bro?
Happy Sunday, my friends. Jerry Soriano, your lender for life. How's it going?
Oh, what's going on with you, Jerry?
What's going on, Jerry?
Oh, I'm just here to bring a little balance to the show, you know.
Hold on, Jerry. You don't think the last caller brought balance? Because he's a Terence Crawford fan.
He disguised it. He didn't want to come out and say he was pro Bud. But that's okay, because I'm going to tell y'all, because I know I called the last time and I said that, I like Spence, and y'all were like, no, but you're a Bud fan. I'm going to tell you what changed my mind about Spence. What changed my mind about Spence, and this is a thing that I couldn't really understand, because I don't think any fighters are really scared of another fighter, but I think they're worried. They're going, okay, this guy's high risk. And that's how I think Spence has always looked at Crawford, correct? And let me tell you the reason why. Every time Spence talks about Crawford, he's always seemed uncomfortable. There isn't another welterweight that has ever made Spence talk about who has he fought. I mean, he has never questioned his opposition and who that person has fought. Ever, ever. Also, Derek James, when he talks about Crawford, he seems out of character because he always gives his opponent respect. He talks about, hey, I'm just a mid guy. But then the next conversation, he's talking about, hey, who puts butts in the seats? He's talking about splits. He's talking about, hey, the athleticism. It kind of goes to the wayside with age, and it just seems like it's always been an uncomfortable conversation when it comes to Crawford. And I started to take notice. And then secondly, after the Porter fight, I started looking at, because I always thought it was like a 50-50 fight. Both guys were elite. They were clearly the two best welterweights. But after the Porter fight, I started to think to myself, Porter fought Spence's fight. Everybody talks about that Spence is this bone crusher. He comes to you. He's going to crush your body and the pressure. Porter fought Spence's fight. What ended up happening? Spence got the worst beating of his life. I mean, if anyone doubts it, take a look at his face at the press conference. And here's the problem that I have when I analyze these two fights, this fight, and I go, okay, what are the strengths and weaknesses? And we go, okay, well, Spence is this awesome body puncher, and he's this, this really strong fighter, but it doesn't really add up when you start looking at the fights. Spence has never stopped anyone with one punch. Before he stopped Ugas, which the doctor stopped him, he hadn't had a stoppage since Ocampos, which was 4 years prior. So when we start talking about people's attributes, the strengths and weaknesses, what are we really talking about? Spence hasn't proven to be this knockout, this overwhelmingly strong fighter. So essentially, what does Crawford really have to be afraid of? When Porter stood in the pocket, exchanged with him, Porter is not a one-punch knockout fighter. Physically, he's a durable fighter, but he has horrible punch placement, and he's not a strong puncher. So technically speaking, when we break down and go, how is Spence going to beat Crawford, how is he going to do it? And then when I look at Crawford and I look at how is he going to beat Spence, I go, well, he is an awesome, awesome counterpuncher. So if you've got Spence coming to him, and Crawford, we can all admit, is faster, right? If Spence is just coming towards Crawford all night, that's easy pickings. That's easy pickings. And so
you give Spence no kind of respect for his.
Yeah. Let me respond. Let me respond to a couple of your points. So the whole comment about Spence not feeling comfortable around or when Bud name come up. Well, the opposite can also be said about Bud, right? When his name came up, or when Spence's name came up to his trainer, when you talk about Bomac starts talking crazy about Spence as well. So when you hear Derek James respond and talk about his level of athleticism, he's just more so an athletic fighter. Remember, several months before that, we had Bomac talking about Spence was basically a basic fighter and that he was basically trash, right? So we can't just look at that and then say that response to what Bomac was saying just means that they're out of character when they're talking about Terence Crawford, when in fact they're just answering and responding to what has been said about him. That's number one. Number two, I completely disagree with the whole notion that he fought Porter's fight. Porter fought Spence's fight. Actually, Spence fought Porter's fight. If he would have fought him like he fought Mikey Garcia, that's an easy fight, in my opinion. And then finally, when you start talking about the counter punch, I actually agree with the whole notion that Terence Crawford is an excellent counter puncher. I think what you're missing, and this is my opinion, what you're missing is that there's a lot of nuances to Errol Spence's game. If you think that Errol is just a come forward fighter and that he's just there like he's Antonio Margarito and he's there for the picking, you're gonna be surprised on July 29th. Now it's back to you. How do you feel about what I just said?
Ass down, one way or the other.
Well, here, and let me just tell you, because a lot of, and I'm just going to characterize Spence fans, okay? I don't mean it in a derogatory manner, but I see how Spence fans are their feelings are hurt. They feel insulted when they're like, why are so many greats picking Crawford? What is going on? Why?
I am offended. Hey, Jerry, just for the record, I am offended, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So many haters. Oh, why do they hate Spence so much? Well, when you break the fight down, like I said, when you break the fight down, it simply, you can make a case for Crawford being able to overcome Spence's strengths before you can make the argument that Spence can overcome Crawford. The only argument that somebody can make for Spence beating Crawford is strength and overwhelming him and the body punching, and we're going to break him down. But the problem is that there's no proof of Spence doing that. The only proof you have is an Ugas, who for the life of me do not understand what kind of fight he was fighting. It's not only that he was standing there to be punched on, is when the guy had Spence in trouble, he did nothing.
Jerry, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely nothing.
Jerry, can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
The question that I have for you is, you just mentioned that there's no evidence that Spence can do that to Crawford. What evidence is there that Crawford can do that to Spence? Because he's never been in there with a fighter like Spence. Never.
The proof is in, and here, and this is the other part I want to get into y'all with. The proof is in, he has stopped everybody at 147, and it hasn't been the doctor stopping him. He has spectacularly knocked people out. Spectacularly with counterpunching. And not only that, and this is what's underestimated about Crawford, it's punch placement. The guy has remarkable punch placement. That's what separates, you look at Mayweather, and you look at someone like Devin Haney. Devin Haney cannot knock anybody out. Although he has all the physical gifts, he cannot knock anybody out because he has horrible punch placement. He punches like a robot. He cannot, unless he is standing firm, he cannot punch directly his opponent in his face, his body, or something, or effectively get someone out of there. That is, when you look at Mayweather and you look at Crawford, punch placement is everything. It doesn't matter if their feet are left, right, standing still. They can get to you. They can loop a punch. That's what Mayweather and Crawford have in common that people really don't put together unless you're looking at it and specifically watching. Punch placement. That's why Crawford is able to get his opponents out of there. Now, that's what Porter does not have. But he was able to effectively land punches on Spence. That's the problem I have, and that's where I see Spence is going to have trouble. Now, he could try to box like he did Garcia, but I don't think that's gonna end up well. That's gonna be effective enough to beat Crawford. Now I have a question for you, Greg.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you know how you were telling? I think it was last week. We were talking about Crawford's resume.
Yep.
And we were saying that he really hasn't fought anybody, because you look at the competition at 140 or 147. You go, look at what happened after they fought Crawford, and you said their record was like 9-39. I don't know. You said something along those lines. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So my question is this: why is it that we can look at Spence and go, that guy was not the same after he fought Spence? Look at him. He was ruined. Look at Garcia. Go down the list. He was ruined. But why is it that you can't say the same thing, that after these guys fought Crawford, they were never the same? Because Ndongo, Mean Machine, go down the list, they were all undefeated.
So can I answer that question?
Yes.
Yeah. So and Jerry, I know you're not going to argue this because I'm going to use the same logic that you've used in the past. You have come on this show and say that Terence Crawford has knocked out everybody at 147 pounds, knocked them out. What does knockout entail? A clean knockout. When you go through damage, and I know you know this because most experts will tell you this, and most fans know this. It's worse to take a 12-round beating than to get clipped and knocked out clean. That's why a fighter would be different after fighting Errol Spence versus fighting Terence Crawford, because you said that Errol doesn't have one-punch knockout power. We agree. He just damages you for an entire fight. You said that Terence Crawford knocks him out clean. We agree, and that's the same reason why your argument doesn't hold.
He didn't.
Well, here's where we can differentiate on not being the same. You're talking about someone physically not being the same. And I'm talking about someone mentally not being the same. Because Crawford has beaten more undefeated champions than anyone else. Undefeated, zero. And the way he beats them is he basically takes them apart. Where you're just, if you remember Felix Diaz, who was a PBC fighter. I don't know if you remember Felix Diaz against Crawford. Felix Diaz was a top-rated fighter when he fought Crawford. Crawford dismantled him. He was playing around with the guy for basically 10, 11 rounds until I think the corner stopped. I forget exactly how it ended. But Crawford takes your confidence away, where you can't do anything with him. I mean, if y'all saw the Teofimo Lopez fight last night, which I still think Teofimo isn't what he was before. I think he's still kind of teetering on his style. But Taylor couldn't do anything with him. So it wasn't that he physically beat him down. He just took his confidence away. The guy could not do anything with him. That's what Crawford does. He doesn't necessarily have to beat you down to a pulp, but he takes everything away from you. It's like we talk about Kell Brook, right? Kell Brook said that he was the best and felt the best that he's ever felt in his career going into that fight.
You know that was a lie.
Hey, but
that's
Jerry,
what he said. No, I'm just saying we can argue that back and forth and so on and so forth. But this was something Kell Brook was saying, right? Look at how that fight ended. Kell Brook was looking very, very good the first 3 rounds of that fight. That jab, matter of fact, it swelled Crawford's eye, right? The first 3 rounds. Then what did Crawford do?
He went back to his normal style.
He flipped sides and caught this guy with a punch that no one can even explain.
I know. I can't explain it either.
There was a jab, right hook, and knocked Kell Brook senseless. And Kell Brook is a big welterweight. He's a big dude. And knocked him senseless, man. I mean, those are the kind of things that you start questioning yourself, like, dude, how good am I? So, yes, I agree with you that you can say that Spence physically beats people down, although I don't even know who you're talking about other than guys. And who else did he beat down? Who else did he physically beat down? He
beat Kell Brook down. He beat the brakes off of Mikey Garcia. I mean, he pretty much beat the brakes off of everybody he's been in the ring with. But hey, Jerry, we got to wrap your call up because we got a lot of people calling.
I appreciate the time, my friends. I'll be calling back. I mean, obviously, we still got some time leading up to the fight, so we're just going back and forth and sharing ideas and opinions. But I appreciate y'all taking my call, my friends. Enjoy your Sunday.
Oh, no problem, man. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for the call.
Take care. All right.
Hey, we got the 202 in the building real quick. We had Jerry on just now, and we got the 202. 202, man, what's your name?
JB, man. Calling from the DMV, that's all.
What's going on with you, bro?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, look, man, I'm tired of hearing these. There's a difference between a fan and a fanboy. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm a fan of the sport of boxing. Like, Teofimo won last night. Now, I didn't think he was going to win the day before, but he won. And I'm happy for him because I'm a fan of the sport. I'm not a fanboy. But you got these Terence Crawford fans, man, I swear. They come up with every different rule in the rule book and change things up so much. It's just crazy. Like, all right, Kell Brook. Now, you had a call in a minute ago and said that Kell Brook was done when he fought Errol Spence. So what the hell you think he was when he fought Crawford? I don't understand that. That don't even make sense to me.
I done got tired of arguing that
he
point.
Fought Errol Spence because he fought Triple G before that, how the heck he wasn't done when he fought Terence Crawford?
So let me comment on that, right? So Jerry, our favorite lender, I think that's the name he goes by. I like Jerry, and I actually like people coming on the platform and speaking.
No, it was a guy before that. Right? It was a guy before that.
No. I know, but I want to point out that what you just gave us, it directly ties to what Jerry said, right? Jerry completely discredited. If I'm not mistaken, Jerry discredited Errol Spence win over Kell Brook, saying something that he was damaged goods. But then at the end of the conversation, literally talked about how Terence Crawford knocked him out with this beautiful shot that no one even could describe.
See, that's my point.
That's why I just went there, right? He literally he downplayed Spence and upplayed Terence Crawford. You can't do that, right? But right. I wanted to point that out. The same guy.
They're fanboys. And see, all right. So here's another one. Now let me ask you this question. Did Terence Crawford knock out what's his name? Oh shoot, Porter. Did he knock him out, or did his father throw in the towel?
Yeah, Shawn was lucid.
I saw his father throw that towel in.
Yeah, Shawn was lucid.
That boy wasn't hurt. He wasn't hurt to the point where he couldn't get up. He didn't get a standing 10 count. He didn't get none of that. His father threw in the towel. So how you gonna give him credit for? Oh man, he beat the crap out of Porter. No, he didn't. His father threw in the towel. His father was like, enough is enough. They didn't even talk for about 3-4 months, 5 months, and they lived like down the street from each other. Like, come on, man. Put things in perspective.
Yeah.
Use common sense. Even Porter said the other day on his own podcast, he was like, I didn't, train that hard for that one. I could have did better. He said it himself. So, man, it's just common sense. Them Terence Crawford fans, man, they, look, my boy gonna go in there, Earl. He's gonna go in there. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and I like Earl, and he love the Cowboys. So you already know I love the sport. I'm not a fanboy. You understand what I'm saying? You feel the correlation? So I'm not a fanboy. So I love the sport. Earl going to tear that boy up. And he's going to tear him up even more when all them greats and Hall of Famers are sitting there saying this, that, and the third. Like when Earl went and fought Garcia, he heard what Sugar Ray Leonard said. Oh, he can't box. So he went in there and boxed him. He beat him at his own game and beat damn near every round.
Facts.
He beat every round on boxing, something that Garcia was supposed to be so good at.
You know what's so interesting about what you're saying, though, bro? Let me just jump in here really quickly. So prior to fighting Shawn Porter, Roy Jones was talking about, I heard about his spar with Mayweather. I mean, he looks wonderful, but I don't know what he is. And then after he beat Shawn Porter, he was basically saying the same stuff. So for whatever reason, these guys simply do not want to give this man his just due, but he has the opportunity to take it on July 29th.
Well, that's why he got all three of the belts. Because he said, I'm going to take care of this side, you take care of your side, and we already know who called out who. Did Terence Crawford call out Errol Spence? No. Earl said at the end of his fight with Ugas, he said, what? I'm coming to get that belt, and I'm going to wait. And that's what he did. He waited. Even though it took him a whole year, he's like, look, I'm just going to wait, and I'm coming to get that belt. And I can't wait to see that press conference. I think it's on Wednesday. When's the press conference?
Yeah, I think it's on Wednesday and Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's on Wednesday. Man, I can't wait to see that joint. Earl gonna be stoked. He gonna tell him to his face. He's gonna I'm about to take your belt. So that's all I had to say, man. I love y'all podcast, man. It's a great show. So thanks for giving me a minute,
you, man.
But Earl Smith all day, strap season.
There you go. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Man, the thing for me too, Jay, man, that I struggle with, bro, is this guy did all the work, and somehow the guy that did the least amount of work is going to become undisputed. Something tells me it's not going to play out that way, bro.
It's funny.
All right, hold on. The 954 called in earlier, so we got the 954 in the building, and I believe that this is my guy, the League of Legacy. Am I correct?
You are correct. What's going on, man?
What's going on with you, man?
What's happening, League?
Man, what's up, Jason? Oh, also, chat, make sure y'all become a member. You know, once we get to 100, Jason and I already got it planned. We're going to put Greg up on the dunk tape. So get the memberships up to 100. You want to see Greg dunking some water? We got you.
Absolutely. We get up to 100 members, man. I will be in the dunk tank for sure.
No, man, I just wanted to call in about this whole fight thing, man. It just be so annoying because what it really boils down to is it seems like a lot of Crawford fans are just going off of like hopes and potential. Like they excited about the potential because my thing with Crawford isn't that I don't like him. I just don't see what everyone is so like clowned and excited about. Like I have not seen that. I can see that there's potential, but it's also against people he's supposed to do that against. So I don't know what he's going to do when he has to face someone who's going to give him that adversity.
Yeah,
I think that's the same place I've been. Man.
I've been the same place, man. Like people like Jerry, who just called in, he talks about, I mean, he compared him. He compared him to Floyd Mayweather. I don't see Floyd. I don't see Floyd. I don't. When I see Terence Crawford, I see an extraordinarily talented offensive fighter. That's what I see.
Yeah. And it's funny, just to make it clear, because a lot of people think I hate on Bud, but well, when it comes to business, yeah, because he just don't know about that. But outside of business, just in the ring, it's just that I don't go looking at his fights to look for a flaw. I started looking at his fight because I wasn't aware of him. So I wanted to get excited like everybody else. I'm like, oh shoot, okay, let me check him out. So I'm looking for the reasons to be excited, and I'm just looking at it like, like how is he getting hit so much by people that ain't even at his level? At least at the level that I'm hearing from everybody else. So I'm coming in and thinking like this is a beast, but I see like like little gigapets giving him problems. Man, it's crazy.
Right.
It's a gigapets.
I totally understand what you mean by that completely.
Yeah. So when you look at what Spence does best, I think we talked about it before. Spence makes everybody fight his fight, and there's no way around it because of the pressure that he applies with it. So you can't get away from fighting his fight unless you're going to apply pressure to force him to fight yours, and that's just not how Crawford fights. So, adding to that David Avenesian was cutting the ring off on him. I don't see how, like, all this stuff that people saying, I'm just looking like, how? Like, where do you see it? It's not me arguing saying it's a lie. I'm saying show me, because I do not see it.
I could Crawford catch Spence coming in? Sure. I mean, it's boxing. Anything can happen.
Right.
And could Crawford maybe keep him at distance? I struggle to believe that he will be able to do that consistently, because I don't think he has that. I think the only way you can keep someone like Errol Spence off of you consistently is to try to fight similar to Shawn Porter, in that you constantly move. And I think Shawn Porter's feet at that stage are better than the feet that Terence Crawford will bring in the ring on July 29th. So I don't think it's possible to just keep him off of you like that. And people just, again, they approach Errol Spence as though he doesn't have a strategy, that he's not fundamentally sound in the way that he approaches the sport, and that he doesn't use angles. I swear, if you didn't know any better, you would think that Terence Crawford fans saw Antonio Margarito when they see Errol Spence. Seriously, they talk about him like he's Antonio Margarito, and he is so far from that. And on June or July 29th, they'll find out.
Yeah, and they keep talking about, like, Spence can get hit, but I believe people are looking at it just from, like, without thinking about what Spence is used to getting hit by. Like, he spars heavily with the Charlo brothers. So it's not like it's going to be a shock to get hit hard. And I don't know, man. It's just not a logical thought process for me. It's just weird, you know. I don't deal with the logical stuff well.
I feel you there. Same here.
Hey, much respect to y'all, because I'd be like, man, I have to hang up. I can't do it. I don't mind if we disagree, but I just need you to be logical with your disagreement. That's all.
I feel you. I feel you there.
But totally. That's it. I'm not tying it up. I know other people want to call in.
Right,
hey, Bud fans are welcome as always. We love you all. I just need you to make sense. That's all. Just bring some logic with it, and I'm with you.
There you go. Absolutely, man. Appreciate you for calling in, bro.
All right, y'all take care.
All right, later.
All right, B.
That was the League of Legacy, and now we have the 919 in the building. You on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. What's your name?
James. What's up, Jay Greg and Jay, whatever way y'all want to say it.
Well, you always got to put Jason first, man. He's the star.
Quick question for you guys. I was looking at everybody saying Crawford make all these adjustments. What adjustments did you see in the Shawn Porter fight, in the Kell Brook fight that made him come out on top?
In the Kell Brook fight, I don't think it was necessarily an adjustment. And I go back to what I said earlier today. He is a southpaw. And all he did was start off in an orthodox style, which was not beneficial to him because he's not an orthodox fighter. He's a southpaw. And so when he went into his southpaw stance, technically his best stance, he was able to catch Kell Brook with something that I don't even know how Kell got hurt from that punch, to be honest with you. I don't think Kell has a chin anymore because that punch shouldn't have hurt him. Against Shawn Porter, I just think he became more aggressive in terms of like letting his hands go because he already had the advantage in terms of just stylistically the way that Shawn Porter approaches it. And once he turned up that energy, Shawn went to getting more aggressive, and that really just played into his hands where he could just counterpunch him, step back, counterpunch him, step back, counterpunch him because he got he got short arms. So, I mean, that's what I saw out of those fights.
More or less, you answered my question. A lot of times, me having an amateur background, they watch these fights and they don't actually watch the fight. What they don't see is Terence Crawford is mediocre from the regular stance. When he goes southpaw, it gives him them southpaw angles so he can throw these punches at these guys. If you look at all his close fights, he didn't turn on the juice until he became extraordinary until he switched to southpaw. So you got to remember, he's fighting another southpaw now. So now they're saying, okay, well, you see how he destroyed this guy, he destroyed this guy, he destroyed this guy. He destroyed all those guys who fought in the orthodox stand, not in the unorthodox stand, from the southpaw stand. Now he faces Spence, which is in the same stance he's in. If you notice, he doesn't stop the jab good from the orthodox stand. He gets hit with a lot of jabs in the orthodox stand. When he turns southpaw, his lead hand is in front, so he's able to catch those jabs that come at him, so he can see the punches coming a lot better. Well, against Errol Spence, strong hand will be in the back of him, so they both will be fighting in the southpaw stance. So now he has to have his hand occupying that space to stop his jab, but Spence still has a strong hand to come around the side. I'm saying this to say, when these guys watch these fights, because this guy has these angles, makes him look better than what he is. When he fights another southpaw or someone that they call southpaw killers, that can easily adjust to southpaw, he'll have a hard time, and that's just my opinion.
That's going to play a part. Nobody's mentioned that tonight, but yeah, he's going to have to fight somebody who is traditionally a southpaw, and this isn't going to be a Felix Diaz type southpaw. This is going to be an extraordinarily elite southpaw that he's going to be in the ring with, and that's going to make for an interesting change for Terence Crawford. We got to see how it plays out.
and he's just as long as Crawford. Crawford probably has longer arms, but I'm pretty sure his shoulders are bigger than Terence. So that advantage will be null and void. That won't even help him. So when I hear people say Terence makes these adjustments every fight, I like Terence Crawford. He's a good fighter. I watch his fights. I watch Spence fights, but I'm really baffled when people say he makes these adjustments. A lot of his adjustments is just turning southpaw. That's
100% correct. And I feel the same way when they keep talking about all these adjustments. It's like he just went from the orthodox stance that he's not that great in to southpaw. That's it.
Exactly. And his advantage is those southpaw angles and the check hook. If you look at all his knockouts, it start from the check hook. And It's because his lead strong hand is in front. So when those guys get hit with that lead strong hand, of course you're not going to expect that kind of power because the guy has punching power. He has pop. So once that right hand comes across, boom, he usually follows up with the weaker hand later on. But it's the actual lead right hook that stops everybody. If you think I'm fibbing about anything I'm saying, go back and look at the fight.
Oh, you're spot on. You're spot on.
Look at how he fights against the jabs. He's really susceptible to a jab, especially from the right hand stance. When he goes to the left hand stance, he has a quick enough right hand to knock down the jabs and get away from the jabs. But that's all I have for today. Good show, guys.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for calling in.
Appreciate you.
All right, later.
All right, later. That was the 919 in the building. All right, man, we got 250 people in the building. We got 189 likes. If you get the opportunity, please hit the like button so other people can find this content. And if you don't like the content, hit the dislike button, but make sure you're engaging. And also, this is AM Sports Media, the Angry Man Podcast. Become a subscriber. Subscribe to the channel. Be a part of the family. All right, Jay, we got another call coming in. It's the 832. I believe this is Houston, Texas. We got the 832 in the building. I think this is Houston. What's your name?
Tracy Jackson. Tracy, I called in maybe about a month ago. But I do just have a quick comment that I don't hear anyone talking about. Now, trust me, I'm an EJ fan, and I've always been this biggest fan. But I don't hear anybody talk about the detached retina. Now, when EJ fought Garcia and also Ugas, you saw the only time that he was disoriented is when he got punched in the left eye. And I think Terence Crawford, that is the only equalizer that he has. And I think he's just going to solely concentrate on trying to stop EJ with that detached retina. Because you just go back to those fights, you'll see. Both times he got hit in that left eye, it messed up EJ big time. And so that's the only thing I can see what Terence Crawford doing to try to even think he's going to win this fight is to try to actually end EJ's career by trying to get him either to quit or to permanently damage that eye, which EJ probably won't stop until he goes blind. What are your thoughts?
I hadn't noticed him get. Jay, you want to answer that?
No, I didn't notice that part to that degree.
I didn't notice that either.
Go back to the Danny Garcia fight. That was the only time you saw Errol get rocked or stopped or just got disoriented when he got hit in that left eye. And go back to the Ugas fight. The only time when you saw when he got rocked was when Ugas punched EJ in the left eye. Both times. Okay, and that's what I think what everybody's overlooking, that Terence Crawford and his trainer they saw that. They saw that was the weakness in the body armor. Okay, was that detached retina. And so all I'm saying is just go review it. Everybody go review it. And that's the only thing I fear because I want EJ to win, but I think that is what they know that's going to be like their trump card is that left detached retina. That's why he's not saying anything about it because it'll look like something, you know what I'm saying, or no one's even talking about it because it just wouldn't look like, it would look like something unethical. But I believe he's going to do that.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Anything else you want to share with the people?
Oh, nah, brothers. I appreciate your channel. I told you got the greatest channel ever, and I appreciate the fact that your guys keep putting videos up every day, doing lives every day, keeping things active. And peace, brothers.
All right, appreciate you, man. Thank you for calling.
Peace. Okay, you're welcome.
All right, man. That was the 832 call in, and now we got two people calling in. So let me take the 904. We got the 904 in the building. What's going on, man? Duval's in the building. What's happening?
Yes, sir. Duval County. This Daddy P with Slap Happy Gorilla. What? Hey,
what's going on?
Big up and respect Jason and Greg, the Angry Man podcast. I appreciate the grown folk conversation. Man, a lot of this Errol Spence and Terence Crawford fight has brought out a lot of lashing out at on either side. But man, I'm just proud of these guys for getting this fight done. And both of these guys come from at a young age, doing this for a long time, and now their dreams are finally realized. I'm just glad that these guys was able to get this fight done. And as two young African American guys, they came together as business partners. And they gonna finally. I'm hoping they finally gonna get the money that they deserve. Both of them. And both of them took different paths. Being with the different companies that promoted them. And then you could talk about the resume. You could talk about different things, but I'm just proud of these guys for getting this fight done so that we can see in this era the best welterweight. And like I say, the resumes, you compare whatever, but both of these guys are two exceptional guys at their craft. You know what I'm saying? Both of these guys have skills that are above the other welterweights in their time. You know what I'm saying? So when they come together, I just see fireworks, man. And I think, like you were saying earlier, it's possible that one could wash the other one, but I really think it's more probable that the fans are the ones that's going to win, I believe. And that's my personal thing, man. But big up and respect Angry Man Podcast. This is Daddy P.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Later. Man, we got a fellow Floridian in the building, man. You call yourself Dad. I can't call you Daddy now. I'm just gonna call you P.
Slap Happy Gorilla.
Yeah. P.
Yeah.
All right, man. Jay, I think we can go for about another 10 minutes or so, 5 or 10 minutes before we wrap this one up. We got the 647 in the building, Jay. I ain't never seen this number before. 647.
West Coast.
We got the 647 in the building. What's your name, man?
Hey, this is Patrick. How you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Well, yeah, I can hear you. How are you?
Yeah. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this fight. But before I talk about that, the Spence Crawford fight, I just wanted to say, big ups to Teo, man. That was an incredible fight last night that he fought.
Yeah.
He just made the 140-pound division a lot more interesting.
I agree.
A lot more interesting. People weren't really checking for that division that much. Now they are. Now even if he fights somebody like Ryan Garcia or even Rolly, it's more interesting.
I agree.
Despite what you might think about those guys' talents, it's now more interesting. It's more fights people would pay a bit. More people would pay money to see. So that's that. And on the whole Crawford, this whole thing about Crawford and Spence not being as athletic, I think what people aren't realizing is, I'll take movement. They say, Crawford's going to move around and he's going to move around the ring. I think what people don't understand is that Errol has just as much athleticism. His movement is just different. If you ever seen people try to move away from Errol, it's like Errol has on a pair of skates.
Mm-hmm.
He has this kind of lateral movement like a basketball player playing defense, and he moves with you. As you're moving, he moves.
Yep.
And I said this before. It's almost like a horror movie where you see like the scary face or the demon face in front of you, and no matter where you run, the face is still there. That's his athleticism. He had great lateral movement. So as you try to move away, he's sliding with you. His feet are going just as fast as yours. As you're trying to move away, he's moving right with you. And when he moves his feet in such a way that he's always a distance away from you where he can hit you. It's incredible. It's that lateral movement. It's like like I said, it's like a basketball player playing a good defensive basketball player playing defense.
Have you seen?
He can move from side to side. Great.
Have you seen the video that we did on his skill set? Literally, we talk about that, right? How easy he gets across the ring and his ability to move. I think it's underestimated for sure.
Yeah, but he moves where he keeps a distance where he can hit you.
Yep.
So no matter where you move, he moves with you and he stays at a particular distance with you. It's actually really, really good. So I think the fight will be great. Another thing that people don't understand, when you watch, especially when he's in there with somebody good, what you're watching in those beginning rounds is you're watching an Olympic boxing, like it's textbook Olympic boxing. It's interesting. Even when he fights Ugas, that when he throws punches and the way that he boxes, it's like Olympic boxing, meaning he outpoints you.
Mm-hmm.
He's never left that Olympic boxing. Like he's never gotten. If people see where he kind of breaks people down and body punches and all that kind of stuff, but if you look at him, especially in the beginning rounds, it's Olympic boxing. He's beating you on points. He's hitting you more than you're hitting him. So I think that's one of the things that people overlook. To be quite honest, he can outpoint Crawford by staying on the outside if he wanted to. Because he can touch Crawford more than Crawford can touch him. Now, Crawford may throw some looping punches. He may hit him every now and then. But as far as points are concerned, he'll outpoint him. He'll outpoint him all day. He could stay on the outside and box him and probably outpoint him if there's no knockdowns or knockouts and the fight goes the distance. There's almost no way Crawford can outpoint him because that's not how Crawford fights. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts.
I mean, those are interesting thoughts, man. I would be curious to see how Errol would try that. I don't. The thing about trying to fight Terence from the outside is that it's dangerous because of the counter punching skills, and I do believe he has faster hands. That's why. But what Errol could possibly offset that with is the jab. So I mean, that's why it's such an interesting fight, man. Really.
Well, while he's on the outside, the jab is what he would outpoint with one of the main weapon he would outpoint you with. Now, if you want to try to counterpunch him, because he moves backwards pretty quick too, if you want to try to outpoint him, you've got to take some chances. Meaning you got to reach. Like if you really want to hit him with a solid shot while he's on the outside and he's coming and jabbing you, he moves back. He keeps a safe distance. You gotta reach a little bit.
Yep, facts.
You got to reach a little bit. You got to take. And Crawford is known for throwing those wide looping shots.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's primarily
those wide looping shots. And if he wants, he can time it when and just go straight down the middle and come in and just start roughing them up. Like it's those wide looping shots, man. When you have good defense and you have those gloves up. You can block a lot of those, man. Like, as long as you're defensively responsible, those wide looping shots, those are dangerous. People think that you're just going to throw those wide looping shots with no risk. That is, against a good fighter, those are high risk if you throw those a lot.
I agree.
Like, you can get knocked out by throwing those wide looping shots. That's for sure. Shots that have a lot of fat on them, with somebody who knows how to throw, like, really hard straight punches, you're taking a risk.
I agree totally. Anything else you want to share with the people before we move on to the next?
That is it. Great job, guys. I'll be back in next week talking this boxing, and if we could talk a little bit more about the 140-pound division and what comes next and that kind of thing, that would be great. I mean, I love the Crawford Spence talk, but
no, absolutely.
I don't know how much new stuff there is to add to that.
Yeah, I feel you. Sounds good, man.
All right,
Appreciate
man.
you calling.
All right. Okay, guys.
Later.
Bye.
All right, man. We're gonna take one more call, man. I think it's gonna be the 609 that we take because I already know who that is. This is what he does.
I know who you're talking about already.
This is what he does. I'm waiting for you to call 60. Yeah, I know who it is. I'm waiting for you to call 609.
Talking about promotions and promoting the fight.
Oh yeah. But anyway, yeah, man. Terence Crawford is he does throw a lot of looping shots, man. But it's just people haven't been able to really capitalize on it. So he's done a good job with being able to do it and get opponents up out of there. So I mean, I can't knock it, but you gotta be able to figure out a way to get around it. So it don't look like the 609 gonna call, Jay. So I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up today's show. Yeah, because I know you got to go ahead and get off to where you need to get off to. Oh, there we go, the 609. We got Terrence Best Videos in the building, and he hung up. So I guess we won't have him. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this show up then, since Terrence is not calling in. I don't know what's going on with his phone. He got to do better. We got Terrence Best Damn Videos, or Best Videos, whatever you want to call it. He's in the building right now. We know your number now. What's going on with you, Terrence?
Yeah. What's up, guys? I just wanted to wrap this up in a ball. I know you're about to leave, and I just I gotta do a little house cleaning.
Okay.
Close things out here.
All right.
So first of all, here they go. They're talking about when Bud knocks someone out, they say, "Oh, he didn't knock them out because they quit." Well, it's hard to knock a person out if they freaking quit, man. This is what you think. If Shawn would have stayed in there, he wasn't about to get knocked out. If you look at the previous round, he was getting tattooed. It was just a matter of at that point when he stopped the fight, his dad saw that there was no way Shawn was winning that fight. But basically figured him completely out, countering him, and he had nowhere to go. So the point is, just because a person stops a fight, Bud gets blamed for not knocking him out. This is the Bud rules. I'm just going over some of the Bud rules. That's a Bud rule. Never heard any fighter get criticized because they didn't knock a person out that quit. But okay, I get it. That's the Bud rule. Secondly, defensive. I keep hearing, Bud, he's defensive. He's not responsible. But let's look at the numbers. Let's see if the numbers met that out. Amnesia, 22%. Porter,
you really said amnesia?
22%. Kell Brook, 22%. Gamboa, 22%. The only person that did a decent job that got up in the 30s, and I think that was his toughest fight, was a Mean Machine. Other than that, this man don't get hit. Every time he gets hit, you guys blow it out of proportion like he just got battered the whole fight. 22% is not bad, guys. And for you people crying about Bernie has his own channel. He's trying to get his own views, so he's talking shit about Spence. Has nothing to do with Bud. He's talking shit. He's trying to get his views up. Why y'all linking Bud to this man's channel? He's just trying to get his views up. Go to his channel and talk to him about that. Bud has nothing to do with that. And we talk about, here we go, we got the level of competition. Okay, let's not forget Danny Garcia ducked him. How many times do I have to say it? Ugas had the championship. Did he send an offer to Bud when he had the title? I don't think so. Thurman Tate turned down $10 million. I mean, yeah, he wanted $10 million, something ridiculous. So again and again, I just have to, clean things up.
Yeah, so
hey, Terrence,
go
Greg,
ahead,
let me ask
Jay.
you a real quick question real fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Terrence.
Yes, sir.
Well, so you got anything to say about promotions now? You still got something to talk about the promoting?
What you mean promoting? You mean now that he's... I don't. I appreciate that, Earl. Definitely. Thank you. Keep it up. I appreciate that. Well, listen, I give him credit when credit is due. It's just not a lot of credit to give. But yes, I give him kudos for finally doing what he's supposed to do. Yes, get out there and talk your shit. Yes, that's what he's supposed to do. Yes, kudos, Errol Spence. Y'all look at that, guys. I'm giving Errol's credit, so I'm not a hater anymore, right?
I mean,
you're definitely a hater. Go ahead,
and one more thing, guys. God damn it, why did Timo have to freaking win that fight? I cannot stand him, and I can't stand Rolly, man. I wanted him to lose, so we ain't never got to hear and talk about him anymore. Now we're gonna be talking about him forever. Jesus, crying out loud. And that's the only thing I'm pissed off about last night, him winning that fight. And freaking Josh Taylor, he needs to retire. He just looked like garbage last night. I mean, and he wanted to fight Bud. Are you serious? Bud would have knocked him to the moon. I mean, this guy. I mean, now, okay, guys. One more thing. Do you guys now question Regis, who lost to this guy? I mean, looking at him lose to Timo and looking so pitiful last night. Is Regis that good? I mean, he lost to this guy.
That's a question. That's a question for Jason.
Jay, what's up with that, bro? He looked horrible last night.
I'm not going to do a triangle theory now. I'm not going to say because he looked bad against Tio. Tio's also going to dominate Regis.
I'm just saying, why did he look so bad?
He looked horrible. He looked bad against Catterall, did he not? Catterall was
He did. So I guess Regis fights because Regis fights on the inside and he likes to bang. Exactly. So he can't fight against boxers.
Fights.
So that's terrible. But can Regis? Did Regis beat any boxer though? The guy likes to fight from the outside. Does he have skills? That's the question.
That's why we gotta see the fight.
Well, I guess we're going to be hearing about Timo for until he loses again. So I hope he fights Haney because I know Haney would beat the crap out of Teofimo.
For Bernie box, you said Bernie has his own thing. Butt was actually
yeah.
That's why we talked about it. Butt was there. Butt came downstairs.
Yeah, he was on the channel. I was going to address that before he got off the line. Yep.
Butt came downstairs. Okay, but wasn't he doing? That's his line. Would the Bud chime in and say anything?
He was on the channel.
He in his house. Yeah, I mean, did he say something?
Did he say something to say otherwise that he doesn't? I've never seen him step away from Bernie's comments. Clearly, that people think
that's
that
his channel. But Greg, that's his channel.
But he's a part of his team.
Butt in on that man's channel and say, "Oh no, you don't believe this." That's what Bernie believes. He didn't say, well, this is what Bud believes. You know what I'm saying? Bud ain't got nothing to do it. That's just like his. That's like Errol Spence girl channels. Somebody says something about Bud on there. Does Earl have to go in there and say, "Oh no, I don't endorse that"? You know what I'm saying?
He's literally said things that Terence Crawford, like, we did this and we did that, and because I came on and said, what do you mean we? So he's basically talking for Terence Crawford, and Terence Crawford didn't come out and say anything against it. So no, I think he does talk for Terence Crawford. If Terence Crawford, I'm saying when the guy was talking about his, I think he said Bernie said something about his kids or something, his girlfriend or something. I'm sure Bud didn't have nothing to do with that. That's what I'm saying. If it's boxing related, yes, he confers with Bud. If anything, if he says, "Yeah, this fight's happening, I'm about to knock him out," I get that. But he don't have nothing to do with the other stuff that Bernie says. That's Bernie saying that crazy stuff. That's not Bud. I'm looking at this box rec though here, man. And Kell Brook landed, like, in the first 2 rounds. Kell Brook landed 38% and then 34%.
What was the final punch results though?
I don't have the. I'm just looking at it from. I'm looking at it from the rounds.
22%.
I'm just looking at it from. Let me see if I can do the math on it real quick.
Yeah.
But how you let somebody hit you at almost 40% of their shots the first 2 rounds? But let me back up. Let me back up. So you filling them out with your face? With your face? So the third round he hit with 9.3, and then he hit him with 20% of his shots in round 4. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
I said this earlier. Terence Crawford's defense is his offense. I guarantee you around after the second round is when he changed from orthodox to southpaw, because that's his true stance. And now to the point that the caller made before, he can take those angles. That's his best stance, and he's more offensive. And that's the reason why Kell didn't land as much, because in that stance, that's his best stance. Period. End of story.
Okay.
So
okay, Greg. So
I don't think he's not a defensive fighter.
What, he gonna stay orthodox the whole fight? I mean, so he's gonna do that. Whatever he
just start off with southpaw.
What did Teddy say? Teddy says he has great instinct, so he's gonna change and do what he has to do to get the advantage. That's one of.
There is no instinct. Just start off in southpaw. He ain't doing shit. Just start off in southpaw. Start off with what you basically are. I'm tired of hearing about he's a switch hitter. He figured something out. What he figured out is that he should have been in southpaw to begin with. That's what he figured out.
No, listen. Because here it's mental in boxing. If this guy starts off and he has success against Bud early, this guy's kind of pumped. He's like, oh yeah, I can do this. Now he changes. Now he can't have that success all of a sudden. He might. What if he starts off in southpaw and the guy has success? Right from the rip in southpaw.
That means he's gonna get his ass whooped.
No, no, he's gonna have that success. And when he's in the orthodox stance, and once he turns the other way, no longer mentally that kills this guy, because now he can't do what he got to have a whole different game plan.
So help me understand this. You're basically sitting up here telling me that Terence Crawford starts off in an orthodox stance to give his opponent the false hope that he's actually going to be successful, just to change back into a southpaw to then take him out, all the while allowing his face to be a punching bag in the first few rounds to give false hope.
That's wait, Greg. That's Kell Brook. Just like y'all said, Kell Brook was probably number one in the welterweight division at one time. He has a beautiful timing jab. Not too many people can do that. But yeah, he was him, but with that jab. But how many people in the welterweight division have that type of jab? Don't even tell me Spence. No, like y'all say, he has an Olympic jab. The same jab, same speed. No. He does not have Kell Brook's jab. Not going to happen. Nope.
So Terrence, anything else you want to share with the people, man, before we wrap up this show, bro?
That's it, guys. Thanks for having me. Enjoy y'all Sunday, and then we'll do it again next Sunday, hopefully.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you calling in, Terrence. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
All right, have a good one. Later. Bye. That was Terrence from Best Videos, and I think we're going to conclude things, Jay. Thank you guys. If you haven't had the opportunity yet, man, on the way out, please hit the like button. It helps other people find this content. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe, become a part of the family. We're always dropping content on a regular basis, on a daily basis, as a matter of fact. And so, yeah, much appreciation to the people that contributed to the channel today, Jay. Do you have the list of people who did that?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Tunnel Vision, Motorsport Sports, Ron 501, Jesse Wyatt, Aaron H. Muhammad. We appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you guys so much. And again, to the people that the other content creators that support us, Manager Marty, the Real Marlowe TV, the Boxing Voice, Showboating, and of course the Mic Check podcast. Those are people who we deal with all the time. You can catch them on our show, and hopefully we'll have them back on our show very soon. But again, very appreciative of everybody and you guys taking your Sunday out to hang out with us and talk this boxing. We'll have some content for you guys tomorrow. And until next time, peace.
Peace.
Oh, and Mark M just hit us with a 30th. I'm coming with all red super chats, Bud, all day. All right. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Mark. Thank you for your contribution to the channel, man. You guys have a good one.
Peace.